So I've realized that maybe I should move the troublemaker label to be above chat instead of below. Because right now it's below, it kind of looks like the goblins are the troublemakers, but no. You guys are supposed to be the troublemakers. That's what's going on here. Hello, everybody. Good morning. How are you all doing?
It's quite an
Oh yeah,
ingenious
I don't have
method.
face cam active today because I just took a shower and I look like a wet cat. So that's the face cam you're getting today. Are we moving back to the this for this stream? Do we miss this? Oh wait. Do we miss this? You always look like a wet cat though? Fuck off. Alright, yeah, I guess we want the model back. If you want something. Shut up. I don't look like I don't look like a wet cat. I missed the face cam and review stream. I'm so sad. It's fine. There's more than one face cam stream. I just don't really want a face cam stream today. I'm not in a mood to do that today. Yeah, you guys are troublemakers. You guys are all troublemakers. You're all the troublemakers. Treating us like we are bad people. You typed Bowser farting .gif in the chat like 3 messages earlier. You are bad people. Hi everybody.
Would you mind coming with
How are we
me to
doing?
buy a copy of today's newspaper?
Would you mind coming with me to buy a copy of today's newspaper? Um, the beta happened. Thank heavens, Misa's live. Thank heavens, Dorsalfin1 is in chat. Are any of my moderators here? Do I have to do this myself? Nope. Oh, there's Aqua. Hi, Aqua. Wonderful. Thank you for giving Finn the shout out. Now everybody follow Dorsalfin1. Yeah, it's the 5 minute stream. The 5 minute stream that is definitely going to go longer than 5 minutes. It's definitely going to go longer than 5 minutes. There's no two ways around it. But hi, everybody. I'm a little bit sleepy as well, which is another reason why I don't have the camera on. Um, so we got beta changes. We did indeed get beta changes today. And the current summary, also Aqua, thank you for the 105 stream streak. And Wheelie, thank you for the 20 stream streak. We got beta changes. And for anybody who's worried about anything, they nerfed Alyosha. Fucking shut up. Shut up. Stop complaining. It's 5% to both of his stats. Stop fucking complaining. They didn't nerf Alyosha. They rebalanced Alyosha.
Oh,
And nerfed VV. I
so
guess they nerfed VV, but
could someone
VV
please pass
wasn't
my
going to
money
come
to
out in the
Shackle's
state that it
store?
was. I think I didn't really expect all that much to change, and nothing did change. I'm just mad at the Alyosha having to be crowned for the 25% attack. What? I was going to crown him anyways, so you're the fake Alyosha fan, okay? If you weren't going to crown Alyosha, that's a you problem. Oh dear, is this clementine a little bit moldy? Maybe this clementine's a little bit moldy. Maybe I shouldn't eat it. Yeah, 10% nerf when doubled by Alyosha's C6. Incredible. Incredible. Okay, so let's just go over everything because everybody in chat is already fucking spoiling it. So let's just go over all the changes. Have they been updated in Nanoka yet? Yeah, Alyosha got nerfed, but like, no, he didn't. Basically everything's still the same. It's like a fucking 5k difference. It's a 5k difference in the teams that he was played in his most important teams where he was the best in slot unit.
Would you mind coming with me to
It's
buy a copy of
nothing.
today's newspaper?
Um, no, the changes are not in Nanoka yet. They nerfed his base kit. He's more of a C6 merchant now. Grim, you're really you're putting my fucking patience to the test. You're putting my patience to the test to not time you out right now. His C6 is more affected. His C6, it is fucking less. Like, it is a smaller nerf to his C0 form. Because he only gets a 5% nerf to each of his stats at C0, but he gets a 10% nerf at C6. He's not more of a C6 merchant now. He's more, like, relative to what his highest power is. He's more of a, he's a better unit at C0 and a worse unit at C6 now. If that's how we really want to do it. If that's really how we want to talk about things. Alright, I might just be misinformed or dumb, not trying to rage bait. That's just what I inferred. Yeah, you inferred wrong. Because that's just not how numbers work. Nanoka is updated, just the text of his stellar passive isn't updated in EN. Oh, okay. Cool. So let's pop it up. But if he got a 5% nerf to both of his stats, and the stat values are both doubled at C6, that means it's a 10% nerf to both of his stats at C6. Which means his C6 is more impacted by these nerfs than the C0 form is. It's not a meaningful change in any way. It's fucking, let me pull this up. Like, this is the beta of we just spent 2 weeks shifting around DPS numbers, and now everything is like 5k different from what it was before. Ads, shit. Damn. What the hell? But yeah, it's basically like short or long story short with this beta is stellar teams are about 5k worse because of Alyosha nerfs, and or stellar conduct teams are 5% worse because of Alyosha nerfs. 5%, 5k. 5% is more significant than 5k because these teams are doing 200 fucking thousand million damage. His C0 and his C6 versions both lost 20% of their value, so C6 isn't more affected. Yeah. There we go. If we're going stat for stat, his C6 is more affected. And if we are going overall stat value of his kit that he provided, both changes are equally affected by the nerfs. So what? Stellar Conduct teams are 5k worse because of Alyosha nerfs, and Stellar Swirl teams are 5% better because... 5%, I keep saying percent, 5k better because the gear actually makes sense now. And Veldraven, thank you for the 2 months. Hello, welcome in. Hi, how are you doing? Thank you for the 2 months. So yeah. Fucking what? I guess Alyosha got nerfed, but it is not enough of a nerf to actually matter. This is just a tuning of numbers. This is not a significant change to his power level. This doesn't affect any breakpoints of his constellations. This song is playing on loop, I just realized. And that's it. He got fucking 4% less attack at C0 to 9% less attack at C6. And this hasn't updated, but he did go from 25% damage bonus to 20% damage bonus, which is then going from 50 at C6 to 40 at C6. So will Yuma Glorp use VV or not? She will not use VV. VV is a much worse set now. That is the one thing, that is probably the most significant change right now, but that was kind of expected. VV has been significantly nerfed. It no longer shreds res when you hit, like you can't shred res with it while equipped on a cryo unit. It doesn't get the res shred effect from hitting with Stellar Swirl damage. You need to actually trigger the reaction and hit with the reaction to shred res. Where the fuck is it? And also, it got nerfed from... Okay, it doesn't say it here, but it got nerfed from 60% to 20%. And the Stellar Swirl set... Yeah, and the Stellar Swirl set changed. So this is why Stellar Swirl teams are getting a little bit better, because even though VV is getting nerfed, so now VV is actually only used as a supportive set in VV teams. It still does some reason, like 20% Stellar Swirl reaction damage isn't nothing, but it's not something that you're going to be using on a DPS because it's the best thing you can get. It's just like you're going to be using it for the regular reasons that you would run VV as a supportive set, and you also get a little bit of Stellar Swirl damage bonus from it, which can be nice for a unit like Farazan, who can get good contribution to Stellar Swirls. She builds a lot of crit because she doesn't have anything else to build for. She triggers a lot of swirls. So Farazone on VV is going to get a little bit of benefit from the Stellar Swirl damage bonus. I don't know. There's probably other units that I'm just not thinking of right now, but Farazone was the main one. But yeah, you don't run it as a DPS set anymore. I should stop farming VV now is what I'm hearing. VV is still going to be a functional set on Mizuki, and of course it's going to be functional outside of Stellar Swirl, which I'm still interested in using her as a unit outside of Stellar Swirl. But in Stellar Swirl, she now finally uses the Stellar Swirl set. Because let's see if that's been updated. No, it hasn't been updated on Nanoka. Nanoka just doesn't have anything. Alyosha also oh no! Fuck! He lost his 2500 motion value on his charged attack. God damn it. No, that makes me so sad. It was never gonna hit live. It was never gonna hit live. But it was funny that it was there in the first place. And it was only on EN? Okay. Yeah, I assumed it was some sort of kit translation thing. I think I heard somebody say that it had something to do with like the stamina cost of his charge attack, because that's 25 and like translated into an actual multiplier.
Would you mind coming with me to buy a copy of today's newspaper?
So I think somehow it got mixed up with actual multipliers and it became 2500. What the fuck was that? Who is Warren65, dude? I thought I stopped getting bots after I hit like 20 concurrent viewers. What? The Stellar Swirl set has now been changed to either proc off of triggering the Stellar Swirl reaction or proc off of doing Stellar Swirl damage. So it actually fucking works. This is a new bot? I guess it's a new bot. I don't know who Brave547 is. But do not add that Discord. I don't fucking know what this means. Still doesn't work off field? It still doesn't work off field now, it seems. It seems like it still only works on field. So... what? Now I'm confused. Maybe we still use VV. Maybe we still use VV. No, you probably do a 2-piece before you do fucking 4-piece VV. Because 4-piece VV is only a 20% damage bonus now. So and I imagine it would be easier to get a better 2-piece going than the 2-piece of VV. The 2-piece effective VV doesn't do anything for any cryo units, so it's only the 4-piece that's doing anything. So it's effectively a 2-piece no-piece. So I don't know what Stellar Swirl off-fielders are doing right now if they're not using Heart of the Furnace. Oh wow, the artifact set got a name. Odette on 4-piece Heart of the Furnace forever, it seems. Yep. Forever. She is locked in that shit. Every single team she's ever in. Which I guess, sure, why not? Personal damage in the kit, supportive stuff in the set. Is Sucrose still on top? I mean, Sucrose is still really good. I don't know what you mean by is Sucrose still on top.
Now there's an idea. Oh, just a moment, please.
So, yeah, I don't fucking know what set, like, Cryo Traveler is going to be using. Actually, no, Cryo Traveler, because Cryo Traveler does all of their stellar damage on field, right? So Cryo Traveler is still able to use Scarlet Proof. I'm at work, so I'm going to dip once I get my streak. Wonderful. Hi, Lito. Sucrose is always a good option. What the fuck, it's too early? I'm supposed to be sleeps? Yeah, it's not going to be a long stream. It's not going to be a long stream. With the VV changes, I guess she's still broken regardless. The VV changes, I mean, she never got good uptime on Stellar Swirl. She never got good Stellar Swirl contribution because she doesn't trigger a lot of swirls. Sucrose's strength is that she gives a bunch of stats and she takes no field time to do it. It's not that she has a bunch of off-field application, but she's not triggering very many swirls at all. She doesn't get much contribution. She doesn't build crit stats. So the VV changes weren't going to affect Sucrose at all. She ran VV because you just have the base effect of VV. You get the red shred. But also I think that calcs were using instructors in certain teams on Sucrose to get more EM on her. I think does the... Does the EM from instructors count towards her EM share? So if you did like a normal attack to trigger a swirl and then you did her skill, would you get the full 200 EM from instructors, 80 from the 2-piece, 120 from the 4-piece? Misa's trying to break my streak. I'm sorry, Yuli. I'm sorry, Yuli. I am trying to break your streak because we're talking about fucking leak stuff. That's so evil. I'm sorry. But yeah, everybody go follow Yuli. Did the beta nuke us or bless us? The beta did absolutely nothing. The beta basically didn't change anything. A lot of the gear works better now. I think that's the main thing, is that a lot of the gear functions better. In like optimized calcs and things like that, if you're assuming good artifacts, if you're assuming these best in slot teams, very little actually changed about the beta. But a lot of the gear works better and is going to be easier to build around now. BP weapon changes. Yeah, we'll get into the BP weapon changes in a second. Very uneventful beta cycle. I think it's... I like a lot of the changes. I think a lot of them are good. The random stream timing. It's the random stream timing and talking about the beta. I'm trying to murder you 2 times at once here. But yeah, everybody just keeps talking about everything. Everybody just keeps mentioning everything before I get the chance to bring it up. But yeah, the BP weapons, every single one of the BP weapons used to be low base attack, high substat with a crit rate substat, and now they are all mid base attack, mid substat. Except for the polearm, which had an ER substat, and its base stats didn't change at all. So what else did I miss? Alyosha got an extremely tiny nerf. I don't even want to call it a nerf, because when you call it a nerf, people start freaking out and losing their fucking minds. So I'm calling it a rework. Alyosha got a rework, because he still has the same role that he does. He still is pretty much as good as he is. I think really the only thing that this meaningfully affects is that a C0 Chi-Chi and a C0 Alyosha were about as good as each other. And now that Alyosha has gotten this very, very minor nerf to his C0 form, Chi-Chi is going to be a tiny bit better. I mean, Chi-Chi was going to be a little bit easier to build anyways, but Chi-Chi's going to be very slightly better, and also she might enable some more things with cryo resonance, which is also interesting. That provides some extra stats, because Alyosha, there's basically going to be no uptime on cryo resonance with Alyosha. Yeah, no more races, Bo. We'll get into that shit. I'm still talking about Alyosha. Oh yeah, final change that I didn't mention with Alyosha. So he got 5% nerf to his attack, 5% nerf to his stellar damage bonus at C6. Both of those are doubled to a 10% nerf, which again, very tiny. He gave 50% attack and 50% or 60% attack and 50% stellar damage bonus. So now he's down to 50% attack and 40% stellar damage bonus, which is still a lot of fucking stats. So it's really not a big deal. The final thing that was changed is apparently he got a tiny bit less application, which means that he's not as good at building stacks for Stellar Conduct, which also is a very minor damage nerf, because stacks for Stellar Conduct contribute towards base damage to the reaction. So yeah, Alyosha, I think he used to build 3 stacks by himself, and now he's down to 2. Which also it means that he's going to be even worse at Aggravate. So you guys who wanted to do Alyosha Aggravate Alyosha, you're going to have an even worse time here. But yeah, so that's the very, very tiny things that got changed with Alyosha. They are nerfs, but they're so small that I really don't want to call them nerfs, because people freak the fuck out when they hear that word. But Alyosha has had a very, very minor change to his scalings. And Yuli, thank you for the 75 stream streak. I hope I'm not destroying. I hope I'm not ruining everything for you. I hope you're watching on mute. Alyosha is cracked for Tick Nutty? Sure. Yeah, he gives EM at C6. He gives attack. Tick Nutty usually runs multiple damage dealers in his team, so a full party attack buff is nice. It'll work. Alyosha is going to be an interesting unit at C6. I don't like that they locked a lot of his more interesting use cases behind C6, because that's what makes him a much more interesting... I don't fucking... It's just a real lame C6 design, but whatever. These changes basically didn't affect anybody. Why is everyone saying Alyosha? Because that's what I'm
Would you
saying.
mind
I
coming
don't
with me
I
to
don't
buy a copy of
I
today's
don't
newspaper?
care. That's why. Because I see the name and it looks like Alyosha to me, so that's what I'm saying. Odette got buffs to her C2 and her C4, I guess. Hi Aggro, how are you doing? The Gek is here. The Gek is here. I'm streaming early enough that it's not yet 2 a.m. over there. So yeah, Alyosha or Odette got a very, very tiny buff to her C2 and her C4. Who the fuck cares about that? Not me. Uh, I already talked about the artifact set changes. VV got nerfed. It's down to 20% damage bonus. Scarlet Proof got reworked, and now it is either triggering a Stellar Swirl or doing Stellar Swirl reaction damage. Triggers the effect. So Sandrone is able to use it, which makes this is what I'm talking about. It basically took 5k away from Stellar Conduct teams because of Alyosha nerfs, and it put 5k into Stellar Swirl teams because the gear actually fucking makes sense now. The Garden of Eden creation kit is here? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Weapons, battle pass weapons, battle pass weapons. So yeah, all of the battle pass weapons that had crit rate substats used to have low base attack, high substat, and now they have mid base attack, mid substat, and that's really good because there are so many free sources of crit. You get so many fucking free sources of crit. You get crit from set. You get crit from some units are going to be able to be using cryo resonance, especially in Stellar Swirl teams. Cryo resonance is kind of going to be a real thing. In triple cryo teams, now that Chi-Chi is a tiny bit better than Alyosha, Sandrone is going to have some more realistic options for cryo resonance teams if you don't have a C6 Alyosha. She ascends crit rate. Sandrone ascends crit rate. So a lot of other units also ascend crit rate, and it's going to be hard to be using all this new gear with them. So it's nice that we got an increase to the base attack and we got a reduction to the crit rate substat, especially because all of these weapons give attack percent. So now that attack percent has a tiny bit more value. Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, final change. Stellar Swirl Traveler. No, what is it? Stellar? I thought it was Stellar Swirl, not Stellar Conduct. They got a nerf to their coordinated attack interval, so it hits half as often. Oh no! Not that 40% scaling, it hits half as often? Oh no! They remove like a fucking like 150% regular ass cryo scaling damage from their rotations. Oh no! Doesn't matter. I think the main thing it matters for is it Stellar Conduct? I don't fucking know. Let me open the leak subreddit. It matters if it's Stellar Swirl because that means that their buffs build up slower. Oh, I didn't open the leak subreddit. I just opened Nanoka again. Is it not listed here? It's not listed here. It was Stellar Conduct? Okay, that's what SSC means. Why is it SSC?
Would you mind coming with me to buy a copy of
Where does the
today's
first S come from? After almost a 7-hour stream, the Misa's already back? Yeah, not for long. And yeah, Aoife and Hazo got Stellar Swirl things. Stellar Superconduct, but it's not called Stellar Superconduct. It's just called Stellar Conduct. Probably just to differentiate from Superconduct, but who the fuck is using regular Superconduct? I think if I see SC, I can safely assume that we're not talking about regular Superconduct. Why is it SSC? Because I think in the very original translation it was called Stellar Superconduct. And leakers hate change. Leakers and calcers hate change. So they're like still gonna be calling this shit Crimson. I think I still see calc sheets where this shit is still called Crimson instead of Scarlet Proof. Actually, to tell the difference between Stellar Conduct and Santa Claus. Look in the leak channel. Minor MC change. Oh wow.
Oh, now there's an idea.
Yeah, so the on-field coordinated attack cooldown went from 0.1 seconds to 0.2 seconds. That does not matter at all. That does not matter at all, not for a single second. Cryo Traveler wasn't going to be hitting fast enough for that to matter. The only thing that matters for, yeah, it lists it here. The non-stellar charge attack will only fire one coordinated attack instead of two. That is the only thing that is affected by that. And you don't use the non-stellar charge attack very often. Yeah, that shit doesn't matter at all. That shit is stupid. So I guess Cryo Traveler got a change. It's not even a nerf. They get maybe 120% less motion value if they're spamming regular cryo charged attacks. I already talked about the weapons. The base stat weapon changes. We got a few changes to specific weapons, like the sword is, I think it's no longer 20 to 40%. I think it's 18 to 36%. They're 1% worse against the washing machine if it reruns in Stygian. It means less stellar conduct field stacks, I think. Maybe? Do the stacks get consumed when you do a charge attack? Do you really spam charged attacks to build up stacks? I thought you gained stacks when you do a charged attack. What the fuck?
Oh, now there's an idea.
Where is it listed?
Oh, just a moment, please. I need to jot this down.
The following special effect is granted when an ice crystal from Frost-pierced star generated by the Traveler hits an opponent, or when the Traveler unleashes a charged attack freezing ice. I don't think it does mean any less stacks, because you still had a maximum of 8 stacks, and you only consume them on burst. You gain them from charged attack. I mean, they have fewer cryo hits, so if you're pull star stacks, I still don't really think it matters at all. They've increased the cooldown from 0.1 seconds to 0.2 seconds. So that's only if they're spamming regular cryo charged attacks. And I really don't think they do that I mean, maybe. I think it's pretty inconsistent whether that would actually increase the amount of pull star stacks you have. I think it is a very, very small change, if anything at all. But I guess maybe that is possibly a thing that could happen. Hi Triple Concave, how you doing? So maybe the Cryo Traveler will generate one less Polestar stack. But I honestly kind of doubt it. They're hitting so much already that I feel like their teams should be able to max out the Polestar stacks pretty easily. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that so confidently. What are the numbers on the Polestar? I don't understand what Aoife and Hazo changes meant. So Aoife and Hazo were basically the two units who had swirl compatibilities in their kit that didn't get any stellar swirl compatibility. So Hazo, he gets stacks of his skill whenever he triggers a swirl. And previously, he just didn't get a stack off of triggering a stellar swirl. That compatibility was not added into his kit. It might still be listed here. Yeah, see, when Hazo activates a swirl reaction while on field, he will gain one declension stack. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know how it's pronounced. So this is the old version, but now it is a stellar swirl reaction or a swirl reaction or a stellar swirl reaction. And Aoife buffs regular swirl damage, but not stellar swirl damage right now, and they changed to make him buff stellar swirl damage. It still doesn't really matter because Auron is the only Night Soul unit who is able to give him a high total party Night Soul. And Auron is not particularly good in Stellar Swirl teams. So Aoife's buff is not, it's kind of meaningless. It's kind of meaningless. His team restrictions, like his team's already restricted him to be in Electro Charge and Lunar Charge because of what Auroron wants and like just where Auroron is good. So he really can't get much use out of that buff at all, but I guess he does have it now. Unless I'm just like not thinking of another character. See, Lolly consumes her Night Soul points pretty fast, so you don't get very fast with her. Right? Let me think of potential Stellar Swirl Aoife teams, guys. Aoife, Auron, Odette, Alyosha, Stellar Soup. Yeah. We're looking for Night Soul units. Wait. That's crazy. I never realized that. Aoife was the last Night Soul unit ever released? Escoffier, Dahlia, Skirk, and Nefa. Wow. Alright, yeah, Varese is an on-fielder. Eonson... Maybe. I guess you run Farzan in a few. If we get a Stellar Swirl off-fielder that is an Animo unit that deals Animo Stellar Swirl damage, then maybe you could do something like Aoife, Farzan, Stellar Swirl off-fielder, Odette. Or no, then the Yonson's not there. But yeah, I'm thinking Yonson can stay on a high-ish Night Soul. But I'm trying to think of a team where you could even do that. Maybe you just don't do far. I don't fucking know. You don't need to do... I have no clue. I have no clue how Yonson could fit into a Stellar Swirl team. I feel like she can't. I feel like it's kind of rough trying to fit Aoife and Yonson in a Stellar Swirl team. I might be able to make something work, but I'd have to push it pretty far. And, I mean, I guess you could just do a regular crit Aoife build if you're doing Eonson and you're buffing his attack. Farzan, Eonson, Odette. I mean, I guess Farzan, Eonson, Odette. It's not a very good team, but it's functional. It's a fine theater team, yeah. That might be an Abyss level team, depending on what we can do. Aoife on a crit VV build could work out. Mawika, no. See, Lolly doesn't really maintain very good Night Soul. Auron, I guess you could include Auron in a Stellar Soup team. In just like a mix of Stellar Reaction teams. Aoife, Alyosha, Yonson, Odette. You're gonna have a hard time triggering a Stellar Swirl in that team. I feel like you're gonna be getting a lot of Electro Swirls with Alyosha. I think Alyosha has better application than Odette. Yeah, prospects are just not good for Stellar Swirl Aoife. Newbie people, oh yeah, we'll talk about we'll do that. We'll do that now. We can do that now. We haven't gotten to that. I know, and I actually do kind of want this thing now. I actually am a little bit high up. Like I'm a little bit more inclined to get some of the weapons now that they are mid base attack, mid crit rate. Like I'm definitely more inclined to get the Catalyst. I think I could be able to use the Catalyst. I'm gonna have to do some math and make sure that it's not better than the stat 6 that I have. But it is pretty easy to get the full effect out of it. Yanfei weapon. But yeah, bow. Bow is kind of cool. It's reverse gilded. Where now, instead of tracking the regions that each character on your team is from, it tracks the element of the characters. And it's reverse gilded because instead of giving EM for other elements and attack for the same elements, it gives EM for the same elements and it gives attack for the opposite elements. And it's 64 EM and 12% attack at, well, actually, hold on. No, these are the numbers. These are the right numbers. At R1, which is actually kind of crazy. These are kind of really fucking big numbers. You get 128 elemental mastery per stack. It's kind of cool. I do like the fact that it gives a bunch of elemental mastery for units of the same element, because that means that it's going to be harder to trigger reactions. If you get more elemental mastery, from including units of the same elemental type. That means you're including less units in the team that you're able to trigger reactions with. So it's kind of a fun balance. Whereas 24% attack, that's still a lot of stats. I mean, it's about equal amounts of stats, but there's just less sources of EM in the game, so I'm more excited about an EM buff. But yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's much better than the it's much better than the original one that checked the units from the region that they were from. It allows for much more creative team building, and you can still activate the full buffs of it. It, I think, gives much more interesting stats. Would the BP bow be fine on Linnea? Actually, yeah. I mean, I still wouldn't recommend getting it for Linnea, because you should just probably get the craftable. But 128 elemental mastery, 2 stacks of that. She gets 27 crit rate, which is a little bit less than Slingshot, but she makes up for it in 156 elemental mastery from Itlua and Sibai. Sethos got an upgrade. Is this actually an upgrade for Sethos? This is kind of rough because Sethos, he generally only runs one other Electro unit in his team, so he only gets the base 128 Elemental Mastery, which isn't bad, but a lot of the stats are going to go towards attack, and Sethos is not an attack scaler. So I don't even know if Sethos did get an upgrade. I think that Slingshot, it's still very possible that Slingshot is still better. I mean, obviously he double dips in what EM does. He's an EM scaler plus an EM scaler plus he gets EM for his reaction damage. But I'm still not sure if this is an upgrade for Sethos over Slingshot. Because Slingshot is just so fucking good for him. How does it play with Gilded, though? I think it'd be fun to play around it. Well, you still don't use Gilded because Gilded is such a low just stat set. It gives you so few stats. I guess it's kind of interesting. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I think it'll at least take until, like, R3. If I had to guess, it'll at least take until R3 to be better, if not R5 to be better than Slingshot. I could just throw in the math right now. If this weapon is in the damage calculator, it might not be. It might not be. BP bow. You want to tell me the effects?
Huh?
Okay, well, I guess we put a teammate in the team and we see how his stats change. Oh wait, no, 32 elemental mastery. Yeah, they haven't updated the bow yet here. It's additive double dipping, which really isn't that valuable. I'm saying it's still more impactful than damage bonus, which isn't double dipping at all. Actually, wait, no, it's not, because damage bonus increases his regular EM damage and his reaction damage as well, so never mind. It's like the fucking same. It's exactly the same. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Slingshot is still better. Yeah, EM scaling base damage, they aren't multiplied, they're just added together. Yeah, I get what you mean. I have the Magician character bow. Is Sethos good with it? Lenny's bow? No. No, he is not good with it. He still just uses Slingshot. Slingshot is still too fucking good.
Huh?
Same story with Ticknutty, I take it. No, well, Ticknutty is a much better attack scaler than Sethos is. Ticknutty is an attack scaler at a baseline, and he only gets damage bonus. Like, he gets damage bonus and reaction damage from EM. He doesn't get any actual base scaling on EM. He just gets reaction damage plus a little bit of damage bonus from passive. So I would say Ticknutty, this is a much more, like, worth considering weapon for Ticknutty, because he gets much more value out of attack than Sethos does. Because that's another thing, because EM gives him damage bonus, that also means that EM affects his attack scaling damage by giving it more damage bonus. So I'm more interested in getting this weapon now. That's kind of neat, I guess. Yeah, the Claymore got changed, but the Claymore was pretty much just a Sandrone weapon, but it's nice that they decreased the crit rate because Sandrone had some serious problems with overcapping. They nerfed the sword a tiny bit, which that's likely going to be a Vesna weapon, so who really cares? We don't know how much of an effect that's going to have until Vesna is in beta. And the catalyst is still a generically usable catalyst. I think now they have made the catalyst a lot more appealing. They've made the bow incredibly more appealing. And the polearm still kind of sucks, but it's cool, so I want it. Would the bow be better than stringless on official? I would assume yes. Yes. I don't think it's even close. You get a better substat. Stringless is the same base stat, or the same, it's a mid-base attack, right? So you get crit substat, which is way better than EM. Fischl doesn't use that much EM. She can trigger some reactions, aggravate. She gets some good reaction contribution. Overload, she gets some good reaction contribution. Not even, actually. You usually keep an Electro Aura if Fischl's in the team. But if you don't have an Electro Aura, you can get some overloads on her, and EM is worth something there. But the passive also gives me EM. The passive gives a fuckload of EM while also giving attack, which is much more important to Fischl. Me's collecting good bows like a hoarder. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, like, I have so many good bows that I might just not need it. I have so many good options for bows that it's possible that I don't need it. But it does... Where the fuck is a bow character? Venti, get out here. But it does give some stats that not many of other of my bows can give. Like I have a lot of attack granting bows. I have some crit granting bows. So maybe it will never be better. Maybe it will never be better than any of these 5 stars. But I'll do the math before I end up picking it. I'll at least do the math before I end up picking it anywhere. But yeah, it's a really cool stat stick. Works in a much more interesting way. Is that it? BP bow versus Elegy? I want Elegy more. But I can get the BP bow a lot easier. And you know what? I can get the BP bow while also saving for Elegy, because BP is good value for the wishes that it gives. So any wanted the higher attack on the Claymore anyways. Usually for attack scaling characters, the base attack of weapons doesn't really matter that much. It tends to balance out because crit is also a very, very good stat. Lower base attacks with higher substats tend to balance out. Higher base attacks are a tiny bit better, but not that meaningfully better. It's really just nice that it has lower crit rate, because the crit rate, it was so easy to overcap that the crit rate would have eventually become useless, whereas the high base attack is always useful. Who's good with the Linny bow? I don't, it's a good just 5-star stat stick. If you don't have any other 5-star stat sticks, you can probably use it on most bow users. Just not set those because he's not an attack scaler, so he gets more value out of Slingshot. Wailed so much they can't even buy PvP because it's a nerf for them now. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not a whale. I'm not a freaking whale. 40 extra minutes on this 5-minute stream tax deductible? Yeah. I lied. It wasn't going to be a 5-minute stream. It was just going to be a shorter stream than usual. So yeah. Are those all the changes? Are those all the changes? Did we go over everything? Alyosha got minor baby nerfs that don't really matter all that much. They matter a little bit more for the lower, for the less synergistic teams. Actually, no, they don't, because some of his nerfs were to his stellar damage bonus. I'm really, really happy about that. I'm very, very happy about that. Alyosha, they didn't just nerf his attack buff, and if they just nerfed his attack buff, that means he would be worse as a generic unit, and it would affect his non-stellar teams more than it would affect his stellar teams. But they took away a few numbers from both his attack and his stellar damage bonus. I wish that they just took numbers away from his stellar damage bonus, but whatever. We'll take what we can get. Pre-BP change, pre-change BP Claymore on Sandrone. If you had Cryo Resonance, you started at 87.4% crit rate. Okay, but you didn't have. You didn't always have Cryo Resonance. Because also pre-change, Chi-Chi was about as good as a C0 Alyosha, and presumably C0 Alyosha is going to be free. So you would just probably use Alyosha in most contexts, and you wouldn't get Cryo Resonance. So you could purposefully use Alyosha for the purpose of not getting Cryo Resonance, because Electro Resonance is still valuable to her. Alyosha is still a powerful unit for her. But yeah, it's a little bit easier to not overcap on her now, and that's awesome. We can't expect another 3 hours? I don't think so. Anemic from a lack of stall? Has the stall even reset? The stall has reset, but I kind of don't really want to do it immediately. Fully M. Alyosha can reach Lohen's will to win thresholds outside of Stellar. Fuck yeah. And that didn't get changed because his EM scaling didn't change at all. That rocks. 550 EM Alyosha hits for 11k Superconduct. Oh my god, bless those 5.2 buffs. Bless those freaking 5.2 buffs to the base damage of reactions. That's beautiful. And I mean, he's not going to be dealing damage if you build him on a crit build, so you might as fucking well. Full EM Alyosha. Odette and her basic buffs? What about Odette and her basic buffs? Nothing changed with Odette base kit. Her constellation's changed. And she deals more damage now. Right? Did I miss anything on there? I think it's just constellation changes. Odette C1 went from 200, 300 to 300, 450. Yeah, so she deals more damage to C1. She deals more damage to C4. Full damage Alyosha only hits for 7k a pop. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I just want the con changes. It's just motion value upgrades. That's it. It went from 200% Stellar Conduct and 300% Stellar Swirl to 300% Stellar Conduct and 450 Stellar Swirl on C1. Yeah. Stellar Conduct reaction damage? What the fuck? Unleashing the special elemental skill, Adagio Coda at Dawn's Tolling, deals an instance of cryo AoE damage to nearby opponents that is considered Radiant Stellar Conduct, or when not in a Radiant Stellar state, Stellar Conduct reaction damage at 200% of attack. Something tells me this isn't perfectly translated. But yeah, it was 200% Stellar Conduct damage, 300% Stellar Swirl damage, and now it's 300, 450. And then what? These fucking coordinated attacks got buffed from 50 and 75 to 66 and 99. Was the previous 200 to 300 not enough? I don't know. I guess not. I don't think people are going to be looking at C1 Odette more favorably because of this. I guess it's nicer because it was the way I looked at it, it was kind of a stepping stone to C1. C1 is the real breakpoint because it starts giving Res Shred, and a lot of Stellar Conduct teams right now do not have Res Shredders. A lot of them, even what? Like they don't run. A lot of them just aren't running Sucrose at all. Sucrose is a decent option, but a lot of them aren't running Sucrose at all. So 20% Res Shred is going to be a pretty big fucking deal for their teams. Enjoy the rest of the 5 minutes. Bye, Beef. Bye. Thanks for coming around. And apparently they nerfed the passive of the BP Claymore a tiny bit. BP Vod R5 looks best in slot for my official, Yoimiya, Oron, Yohoda, Linneo, and Sethos. I don't even know if it is best in slot for Sethos. I'm gonna need to do the math on that because Slingshot is just so fucking good. Slingshot is just so fucking good. It's ridiculous. This thing gives less crit rate than Slingshot. So you're gonna have to be able to get the 128 EM is gonna have to be worth more than the 60% damage bonus from Slingshot, which I just don't trust that it is. Because Sethos isn't going to be running 2 Electro units in his teams. He really only ever runs 1. And he generally does run at least 1. Whether that's like Fischl for Aggravate or you just run another Electro unit. I'd say Overload is maybe the only one where he runs solo Electro. And then he's getting a bunch of shit-ass attack buffs off that. But I guess you do kind of run attack Sethos and Overload because you do level 1 charge shots. Yeah, I still don't know if it's better. I still don't know if it's better. That 128 EM is going to have to do a lot of carrying. But Fischl, Yoimiya, Oron, yeah, maybe there's some more there. There's definitely some more there. It's a lot of fucking stats. That bow is giving you so many stats. Let's do the stall. And then we can do just like daily Genshin shit. I think I already talked about everything, so we can do my weeklies. We can just spend a little bit of resin. And then I remembered, okay, so last night at the end of the stream, I was playing a game called Against the Storm, and I forgot. I don't know how I forgot this. That game has inbuilt Twitch integration. So I could have had you guys voting on my shit. I just logged in on it. So if we ever want to go back and play it again, we can have that happen. You guys can be voting on all of my decrees and things. But that's in chat now. So that's fun. Okay, no hits. 3.8 unit or further. I'm gonna go classic bad guess of Shilonen. Okay. So it's between 4. Does this have to be a 4.0 unit? Does this have to be a 4.0 unit? I don't know. I don't know if it is. It could either be between 3.8 and 4.1, or it might have to be a 4.0. Let's go Fremine, I guess. Yeah, it has to be Linny. Goddamn. No one came out in 3.8? Oh shit, I forgot. I thought Kirara did, but that was 3.7, wasn't it? Where the wind blows, the rain soon follows. Believe me, I have it on good authority. Nouve? This is so not a Nouve sentence. If this is Nouvelette, I don't know anything about Nouvelette. Yeah, this is not a Nouve sentence. He wouldn't say, believe me, I have it on good authority. This is a cheeky fucking sentence. This is a cheeky ass sentence. Venti? Oh, this is so Venti. Or yeah, no, it's Dahlia. You're right, it's Dahlia. It's Dahlia. It's so Dahlia. It's so Dahlia. I was like, it's Venti, but then I was like, oh shit, wait, no. It's totally Dahlia. It's not Venti, it's totally Dahlia. What the hell is that? What the hell is even that? What the fuck is that? That's Dory? Oh yeah, it's Dory. I can like not tell what that is. It is Dory. Oh my god, it's Dory's skill. Fuck. I've never seen it from that angle. We always go Ayaka first, yes. Great. Fantastic. Has the Scrandle reset? These both look kind of horrendous. I don't trust a spotted hot dog, though. I trust a spotted breakfast sausage, even though it's like basically the same fucking thing. Is that a croissant bun? I think it's trying to be. This is cheaper, and I just like an egg and cheese a little bit better, so I'm gonna vote on this one over a hot dog. Donuts $4, hot dog donuts for $4. This is a more expensive hot dog, and it's a hot dog. Fuck hot dog. It's hot dog nerf. Chicken tacos for $2.20 or steak and ale pasty for $4.70. This is easy today. $2.20 versus $4.70. Hot wiener. Air quotes. Hot wiener. With an IPA for $16 or a fire dog for half price. Cheddar jalapeno sausage, cheddar sauce, charred tomato pepper relish, flamin' hot tortilla strips. I think I'm just judging the hot dog here because this is half price, but I'm just gonna fucking assume this is a ball game. These are stadium prices. This is an $8 beer. So we can say that these hot dogs are around the same price. And for that price, I think I still rather go this. I think I still go the hot wiener. This one, jalapeno cheddar sausage, cheddar sauce, charred tomato pepper relish, flamin' hot tortilla strips. It sounds alright. Pasty, not pasty. Shut up. I don't give a fuck. I'm going with this one. Okay, whatever. Sure. I guess. Double cheeseburger, price of one, $8. Foot-long sausage roll for $3.60. This just looks better. This looks fine. This looks acceptable. I would eat this. But this just looks better and for cheaper. Foot-long. I can't. I can't with you fucking scrandlers, dude. I can't with you scrandlers. If people actually choose the bottle of water for 45 cents more than the cheeseburger, just because this cheeseburger looks a little bit dry, this does not look like a good cheeseburger, but I'm not buying a bottle of water for more money than a fucking cheeseburger. If Scrandlers chose the bottle of water, I'm officially losing my mind. Thank God. I hate Scrandlers. Pies. Price of one is $2.20. They got a Scotch pie, a macaroni pie, and a donor pie. Or chicken. So this is $6. This whole thing is $6.60. But keep in mind, Scrandlers can't fucking read. So it says price for one, but people are going to see this and they're going to see $2.20 and they're going to go, wow, that's so much food for only $2.20. And they're going to pick that anyways. So like this, garlic and Parmesan sauce, chicken tenders and chips, $10. I'm absolutely picking this any day of the week. It's a little over double the price of these three horrific looking pies that definitely are not done any services by. Actually, they've all had a bite taken out of them. They have all had multiple bites taken out of them. But I think that Scrandlers are stupid, and I think that they're going to see this price and they're going to say you get all three for $2.20 when that's just not true. I'm going with my soul. I went with my soul. $1 hot dog or $10 hot dog? What a choice. You want $1 or $10? This does definitely look a lot better. Does it justify 10 times the price? I don't think so. Apparently it does. Apparently Scrandlers are fucking crazy. And they would rather pay $10 for an alright looking hot dog than pay $1 for a bad looking hot dog, even though all hot dogs look a little bit bad. This just looks bad. This just looks bad. I don't care about price. This just looks bad. The Bullpit Burger is back! This is cheaper. It comes with fries. I think we always bet on the fries. This has rice. Jerk chicken and rice. This does look really good. This does look really good while this just looks okay. But I think I always bet on the fries. Yep. Croissant with turkey, lettuce, tomato, cheese, and mayo for $3.45, or double smash cheeseburger $6.50 actually isn't too bad for this. I mean, both of these prices are looking pretty decent. I want both of these. Is this the first Scrandle where I actually want both of these? These both look good. But I think Scrandlers are gluttonous, so they're going to choose this. Yeah. Scrandlers are so gluttonous. Genuinely fucking insane. This one I think was a toss-up. I don't understand why so many people chose the Fire Dog over the Hot Wiener. They look about the same. They look same price. I don't know why the Fire Dog is so much more favored. I think people don't read and they don't see that you get a beer with the price. Footlong sausage roll. This is crazy. This is crazy to me. This is genuinely wild to me that anybody would choose an $8 cheeseburger over a $3.60 footlong sausage roll. Also, I don't know why I know I'm saying dollars and the price is in pounds. That's just because I can't be fucked to say pounds. I feel like an idiot if I say pounds. But it's still relative the same price difference. CGI PNG today? Yeah, CGI PNG today. You could say quid. That's quite literally 10 times worse. Quidward. Three quid and 60 pence for a foot-long sausage roll. Why do I pay 3 quid and 60 pence for a foot-long sausage roll? You see how fucking stupid I sound? I'm not doing that. No respect for people who call money pounds. Exactly. My bad. Free quid. Is that what you want from me? Alright. We're done scrandling. We're just gonna do our dailies now. Let's do weeklies. Number 1 priority. Yeah, no quitting. Did the music stop? Music stopped. Don't know when that happened. What should we listen today? What should we listen to? There we go. Stopped way before Scrandle. Yeah, I realized, but I'm too tired and I got too caught up in what I was talking about. I do like saying fiver or tenner though. I like bucks. I'm too Jersey pilled. I love saying bucks. Is this a beta looking at stream or did it even change this time? We already looked at the beta. There were some significant changes. There weren't any significant spreadsheet changes, so theory crafters don't give a fuck about this beta, but I do. Because it was a lot of things... It was a lot of things that just make characters easy to play, make gear more easy to build around. The gear makes sense now. VV is no longer as busted as it was, and the Stellar Swirl set is better. No billets and 2 Animo slivers. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Should I just, like, not bother doing setup? Should I just punch this motherfucker to death with Risley? Did Mizuki get more buffs? Mizuki got nothing. Mizuki is unchanged. Which, frankly, called it. Called it. I think Mizuki, and because everybody's saying, oh, they're gonna nerf Mizuki, they're gonna nerf Mizuki, but also, like, part of Mizuki teams being really, really good is Cryo Traveler. That's 2 free, accessible units that are both, like, putting up fucking numbers. I think that if both of them are balanced like this, it means that they want both of them to be kind of good. And I think we're just going to be getting insane power creep. Like, I think the limited units are going to be much better. Thank you for that.
Burn to oblivion.
Which, whatever. I guess that's what Hoyo's doing. Like, power creep sucks, but it's gonna happen, so I don't really care that much. As long as it means the content isn't completely unachievable. I mean, I maybe should be a little bit less dismissive this time around, because I have a lot of the stuff. Like, I have a lot of stellar stuff. My stellar teams are going to be very well invested just because I invested in the characters that got buffed before they got buffed. But,
reality
mm.
is pain.
Characters this year will be dealing more damage than characters last year. Crazy. Nobody could have expected this. The power creep is really out of control this time, guys. It's totally different from last year because the numbers are even bigger. How much is the relative increase? Good and accessible in Genshin. Wow, that's a new one. Yeah, they've actually, you know what, I guess I would prefer this, because the fact that they've, like, stopped introducing fucking event weapons and things like that, like, Nod Cry was a kind of inaccessible year. I think that's a thing that Nod Cry did particularly bad. Like, I don't think that the numbers going up were the big problem. I think that the inaccessibility of the mechanics were the problem. And to an extent, Natlin also had some issues with that, and I think they're kind of learning, and they're doing a little bit better with Snezhnaya and Stellar stuff by buffing older characters. It's still not great because, you know, they're only meaningfully buffing 5 stars. The 4 stars are kind of just like temporary alright supports. Especially with Alyosha coming out, it really seems like Diona and Beta weren't all that good, and now it seems like they really were never meant to be that good in the first place. They were just supposed to be placeholders until better units came out, which that's not a big surprise. That's kind of what I think most people expected. But at least they're buffing some older units, so if you have those older units, you get access to... And you still need to be pulling new stellar units to get access to, like, good teams for your stellar buffed units. So they're still being restrictive and kind of shitty in their own way. But, like, the fact that Mizuki Cryo Traveler are 2 free units that make up a pretty decent team core, I think is nice. I think is cool. They're not doing any sort of Stellar Swirl shill next patch, so we're going to have to wait until Vesna comes out for Mizuki Cryo Traveler to be, like, particularly strong in any given content. Like, I'm pretty sure the Stellar Boss doesn't lose Animo Resistance. It has high Animo Resistance in its down phase. So your Stellar Swirl team is going to struggle a little bit there. Just hope characters you like contribute to power creep. Exactly. That's what it's been. That's what it's been for the past 3 years. Arguably 4. The 4 stars are usable in a meaningful way, unlike Aino and her +1 to Moonwheel. You shut up about Aino. Aino is fucking incredible. Aino is the second best 4-star design that we got this year. I'm glad that we're getting away from the 2 units to activate a specific resonance design. I think that there is room for that design, but if they were just going to do that going forward, that makes incredibly boring teams. I like to have it there, but I didn't want it to be all-encompassing. Shit, I should have gone to do the other tutorial boss. I need more mats for Alyosha Crown. Whatever, who cares?
All here shall bend to my will. Story has only just
Reconstitute!
what now?
Not my fault they made Moonwheel a shitty mechanic. You don't talk on Ino like that, though. I don't think Ino was a fantastic design. I know I was the #1 Ino defender, but that was like with the context of what Hoyo was doing with the year. With the context of like, okay, this is how Lunar is gonna work. You need 2 units, you need Hydro. So the fact that they gave us a really, really comfortable unit that achieved those things, that's what was good about Ino. Ino isn't like a fantastic unit in a vacuum. She was an acceptable design for the very unhealthy design that they were doing for the year.
Get back! Snatch it from my grasp!
Fuck you.
You won't distract me this
Fuck you.
time.
There we go. Don't hit me, thank you.
Fine. A little ambiance. Neutralize.
For more, please. A petty trick.
Wish Yoda was better. Indeed, so do
As
I.
I've longed for.
I wish all the 4-star. I'm like not 1,000,000% in love with any of the 4-star designs from the past year. Prune's easily my favorite, but I think there are still things that I might change about Prune. I think her restriction in her kit is fun. Like it's there, so I deal with it and I have fun dealing with it. But I might prefer that if like I had a shot at designing her kit all on my own, I probably wouldn't put it in there. I probably would like the restrictions of needing you to have an element that she can consistently swirl to do her full party buffing, I think is enough. Making her build a fuckload of attack and making you consistently have an element for her to be able to swirl is enough of a restriction that I would be fine just having those two be her full restrictions. Needing another Hexarot unit in the team to trigger a reaction, I think is just kind of needlessly complex.
This realm is
And the really, really restrictive 30% attack bonus buff, I wish it went to any Animo unit instead of a Hexarot, just Hexarot on-fielders. I wish it was just any swirl reaction, you can get 30% attack for it, so she was a better Animo support. I mean, Sucrose would still, or Farjan would be better, but I think Prune would open up the door for some fun stuff to support Animo units while also, like, making for more fun and varied team cores because she buffs generic damage bonus instead of just Farazan, who is solely focused on buffing Animo damage. But then how would Hoyo sell any characters? What if Prune was cool? That's their problem. I think keeping Prune at the power level that she was and just removing her restrictions a little bit, she'd be fine. Because she still isn't, like, best in slot anywhere. Even if you can meet all her restrictions, she's very rarely best in slot anywhere outside of Varka teams. Because her numbers are good, they're just not good enough. Because so many units are getting such hyper-specialized teams where they get such specific buffers that buff 1,000,000% of this one stat that they need. Like, Prune's not replacing fucking Lauma. Alright, are we just hitting a talent domain? Really hope Prune somehow becomes one of Alice's best in slot teammates. Don't bet on it. Because Klee already has problems with Prune. And I assume that Klee probably has similar team structures to Prune. Does Prune... No, Prune uses resistance, right?
Stickers on my back. Do me a favor and take them off. Malazines like to play.
It should tell me because I think I have her in my building log. Yeah, she uses resistance. I could get Mizuki books. Let's go get some Mizuki books. The restriction also does stop her from being better Kazuha, but the ER needs are mean. Like, that's why I think she isn't just better Kazuha. Because the ER needs are really mean because she needs to have consistent uptime on elements, on swirlable elements to actually have good uptime on her buff. I think that she can numerically be better than Kazuha, but she's kind of a headache, and I kind of like that dynamic. Whereas Kazuha just kind of, his buffs happen automatically. As long as you put enough fucking EM on him and get your correct swirl, you're fine. Oh, I didn't get to kill him. These enemies are too weak. Durin's gonna kill everything. There we go. I think that, like, I stand my ground. I think that Prune's restrictions were enough. I think those restrictions that I talked about were enough. Her needing a much better build than Kazuha. Her having kind of weird, clunky mechanics. Her being a 4-star that is a little bit more constellation reliant is a difference from Kazuha. And also, you know, Kazuha came out almost 5 years ago. I think it might be okay. I think we might survive if Kazuha gets a little bit power crept. Considering everybody else who's been power crept, I don't think the game's gonna explode if we get better Kazuha 5 years after Kazuha comes out. What if I use the fragile? I need to test Lenny, Nicole, Prune, Benny more after playing that with Venti and Stygian. You don't have a Hex unit triggering a reaction in that team. But, I mean, I guess it can still work. You don't, it's not a, oh yeah, the full party buff. Prune does not sound particularly good there. I guess you have her there to be a second Hex unit. It's probably a C6 Lenny thing. That probably only makes sense for C6 Lenny, now that I think about it. Kazuha already got power creep, or Shilonen to power creep him. Yeah, it's a little bit different, because Shilonen isn't just, like, Shilonen's numbers are worse than Kazuha's. She has less res shred, and Kazuha has the potential to build for more damage bonus, but Shilonen trades out by being easier to play, by having a higher uptime on her buffs, and by having healing. So even though, like, she has very comparable numbers to Kazuha, but they are a bit lower, and she gets better quality of life for it. Whereas Prune, it's like she uses the same set, she gets the same res shred, she has the potential to give a lot more damage bonus. Is this all I fucking need for now? But she's significantly cooler, so it balances out. True. And they both have terrible they don't both have terrible weapons. Shilonen's is a little bit better. But they both don't have fantastic weapons. Mostly because supportive weapons mean you have to give up Fav. Fav too good. Fav too good. There's transients, right? I need 12, okay. Go Layla. Thank you, Layla. Go Layla again. Fuck you. I'll back on Ino. I'll defend Ino till the end because I can't be asked to pull Bina and Sack Serenade Kokomi makes me want to explode 500 times. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Ino is a fantastic design in a vacuum, but considering the design that we got for the year, where everybody desperately wants Hydro and another Nod Cry unit, they better fucking give us a Hydro Nod Cry. I choked on my own spit. They better give us a Hydro Nod Cry unit that's easy to use and build.
Thank you.
the fact that Ino is such a good option. Like, Columbina was... She definitely made a few Stygians a fair bit easier, but I feel like Columbina was only really necessary for like 2 Stygians across the year. The 2 Stygians where she was on banner. And Ino was pretty much able to take up her role and do it like well enough for the rest of the year. Especially before she came out, Ino was fucking great to have around. It's just really nice that they weren't evil with Ino. That's my thing, is that they could have been evil with Ino, and they could have made her like Kachina, where she has bad uptime, and her AoE is small, and she has a long-ass cooldown, but they didn't do it. They gave her a really short cooldown. She still rotates faster than Columbina. She still has that over Columbina. They gave her some tiny buffs in her constellations, which is nice. She is circle impact, but it's a really, really big circle, and also you can meaningfully... You can ignore that circle impact if you get her C2 in both Lunar Crystallize and Lunar Charged, because those teams really only need you to be triggering the reaction every 6 seconds so that their respective mechanics are up and your characters can get their lunar reaction damage from their talents. So good Hydra application isn't necessary, so you can kind of work with just her C2. Ino was good in context of everything else that was happening, but if I got to design Ino myself, I probably would have made her a little bit differently. I probably would have given her maybe some significant regular hydro damage. I maybe... Fuck it. I'll give her the ability to trigger the lunar reactions, even though that doesn't really matter for many situations. I'd say mostly matters for, like, Hera and, I guess, the Abyss chickens. But, like, the dog, just his shield is way too big to break with just reactions alone. You need actual lunar talent damage to be happening there. I'm actually a little bit sad that we aren't getting stellar talent damage off of 4 stars. It's kind of expected. But I had a little bit of hope in my heart. I know it's basically just as good as Bina, but Bina calcs higher has slightly better quality of life. I wouldn't even argue that Bina has slightly better quality of life. I would argue that they both have their upsides and downsides. Bina being much more energy hungry and rotating slower is a significant downside that I have felt in a lot of teams that I've played her in. It's really, Bina just has better damage. Better damage and slightly better buffing, because she buffs on off-fielders, which I know does not do. Which is relevant to... Well, I mean, it's relevant to all the lunar teams. Buffing the off-fielders is only relevant to, you know, Linnea and Anefa. But, you know, she has that whole special fucking Verdant Dew buff in her kit for Lauma. So even though Lauma doesn't do any damage, she still benefits a lot from Columbina. Alyosha loses healing in New Beta? Nope. He didn't lose anything. He gives less of a full party attack buff, so I guess he lost a little bit of healing that way. Anyways, I haven't even done this. I crafted the books, and then I didn't even do this. There we go. Beautiful. Bina main and lover. Yeah, as a C6 Bina main and lover, I know is indeed better in some teams. I know I don't think she rarely ever actually like performs better on a DPS level, but she can feel much better in a lot of teams. And I think there are some Stygian contexts in which she can get online a lot faster, which can result in a faster clear. Fuck it, I'm artifact routing. Pre-C6 Alyosha is just a use Chi-Chi situation? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, I think it's nice to have both. Especially because we're getting a lot of good options for stellar units much faster. that I think it might be more valuable to have, you know, more options for stellar units. We might be getting double shill faster. But also Alyosha has his own reasons to be used. Electro Resonance isn't nothing. Full party attack buff, depending on your exact setup, can be better than a full party stellar buff. And Alyosha gives similar stats. C0 Alyosha, C0 Chi-Chi give similar stats. I think generally for most people, yeah, just use Chi-Chi. Which I think that's good. I think that's good that Chi-Chi actually has a purpose now. Because if everyone was going to get a C0 Alyosha for free, then that was just going to kill non-C6 Chi-Chi. And even C6 Chi-Chi isn't a particularly great unit. Is Eonsan even worth building just for Sandrone? Eonsan is not worth building just for Sandrone, but I guarantee you that you are going to find more use cases than Sandrone for Eonsan. I love Eonsan. I love Eonsan. Having more options for attack buffers is always a good thing. Which is another reason why we like Alyosha. Alyosha, yeah, Alyosha can act as your Electro unit if you don't have a Yai, or you don't have like a C6 Beta or something. Like, Alyosha is the lowest investment Electro unit to be good in Sandrone teams right now. If you couldn't pick up a Yai, and if you don't have a C... Like, Beto doesn't do anything for Stellar teams if you don't have her C6. So, that's where you run Alyosha. How's Odette's numbers looking? Not changed. She is doing less damage than Cryo Traveler. Bina-esque? I guess, yeah. Bina-esque is a decent way to put it. Bina-esque damage without nearly as good buffs. She has some minor buffs. I still do not remember how her fucking buffs work. She, like, gains stacks from... Is it just using her skill and then she passes those stacks off? So she never uses her burst. I look, you want to run Beto and Alyosha because I want to run Fork on him. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Electro Resonance to make them... Beto doesn't have many energy issues anymore, especially with Electro Resonance. But, reducing Alyosha's energy needs are going to be a real thing if you want to run an option like Fork on him. Oh my god, it's the real Sandrone. We were just talking about you. Hi, how you doing? Ni hao. How does it feel to be the best DPS in the game for a few patches? Everybody gets their turn. Because that's just how the game works now. I'm like not complaining. I feel like I sound like I'm complaining. I think it's kind of funny, if anything. Burst only buffs her own damage, so it's pointless. Yippee! Yeah, but then C2 brings Red Shred, right? I think it's attached to a burst that you actually get the Red Shred. I'm good. How you doing? I'm doing great. I was going to ask you how you feel about the Alyosha nerfs, but then I realized I'd be doing the thing that I am accusing Chad of doing. I'm calling them reworks because even though they were numerical reductions, Alyosha does buff less now. It's barely enough to matter. It's so slight. It does not change Alyosha's role at all. It just makes him very, very, very slightly worse. All the things that used to be true about Alyosha are still true with these new numbers. C0 Alyosha is about as good as the C0 Chi-Chi. There are reasons to use one over the other. And then C6 Alyosha is better than Chi-Chi, significantly. May I ask you how to build Mizuki and prep for Snej? Okay, now she actually does use the Stellar Swirl set. Because Vivi got fucking bombed. Which, expected. I don't think anybody's sad about, because there's no way that set was supposed to work like that. Does Cryo Resonance work on Mizuki? I mean, it works on her. But whether you're going to get good uptime, that's a different question. She doesn't build energy recharge. Does she not burst at all in her Stellar Swirl teams? Like, not even for the extra swirl procs? She automatically does damage, but, like, you're not losing any uptime because she doesn't like lose out on attacks by doing her burst because she automatically still triggers all of her animo attacks while she's bursting. So I think you don't build energy for it because that's just not worth the stats. But I still think you use it if you have it. The sack frag's still good for Mizuki? Yeah. Again, the passive isn't really useful because she doesn't need her burst a ton. But it's a big fat EM substat. Yeah, Mizuki still hits when you do burst animation. And that's cool. Hydrate? Shit. No, I'm like in a mood. People are asking me questions, and I am in a mood to keep just walking around playing Genshin. Oops, 5-minute stream turned into 2-hour stream. I seek Columbina, gonna pull her for Flynn's before anything else. Okay. I didn't pull Sandrone because her team is expensive. I highly disagree. Her premium team is expensive, but that is true of literally every single unit that has come out in the past 2 years. Everybody wants C6 4 stars or multiple other 5 stars. I do not think Sandrone is at all reliant on Yaimiko. I don't think Sandrone is reliant on any other unit. I think Sandrone is fine on her own right now. And the upcoming banner is nice for her. Like, honestly, if you don't have either Yai or Odette, I might just say don't bother getting Yai right now. Wait for a rerun and pull on Odette banner, because at least on Odette banner, you have the chance of getting some really good 4-star constellations. Rather use my C2R1 Risley, so true. So real. Yeah, I really don't see myself having a need for any stellar on-fielders this year. I've got Mizuki, I've got Sino, I've got Risley. They gave us one of every element, and I love all 3 of them. I really have pivoted on Mizuki recently. I'm so sorry that I didn't give Mizuki the respect that she deserved, guys. But man, she was just a boring fucking unit until this patch. Getting Risley C2? Yeah, I'm not pulling it. I'm just waiting for the selector. Hopefully he gets added. Relying on CMC? Yeah, CMC's great. CMC's fucking great. CMC is running the damage set over Odette in Mizuki teams. CMC is doing more damage than Odette in... But I think also, previously that was the case. Like, he still did more damage, but I also think right now that's affected by the Stellar Swirl set not working off-field, and Cryo Traveler only deals Stellar Swirl damage on-field. He does a big burst of fucking Stellar Swirl damage with his burst. He can do a Stellar Swirl charge... Can he do a Stellar Swirl charge attack? What about the very confirmed Rhyme Grass? True! She's meta in the Midge patches, I'll be surprised. Yeah, I don't expect Mizuki. I mean, Mizuki, it's weird. It's really, really weird about Mizuki because, like, she might be able to get power crept and damage, but also a lot of her stuff is in buffing. I mean, I just fucking leveled her talent to level 9, and that, a good part of this talent is that it provides a full party... Oh, wait, I'm looking at Cryo. The good part about this talent is that it's getting buffed to provide a full party Stellar Swirl damage bonus. Oh, Yai? You were talking about Yai? I would not be surprised if she's still meta image Nizhnaya. I don't think that we're going to get a direct replacement to Yai. I think Yai is going to keep being the Electro Stellar Conduct off-fielder that only does Stellar Conduct stuff. I mean, it would have to be better than C1 Yai, because Yai C1 is free from the Constellation Picker, and that's just what you should be doing. That's just what you should be doing. This is easily the best constellation on the selector. So if you do care at all about upcoming teams, you kind of just pick this one, and it's sort of free value. It's not exactly free because it means you're not picking another constellation, but comparing to the other values that you get, you should probably just go with the IC1. But yeah, a potential Electro Stellar Conduct off-fielder is going to have to be able to beat Yai C1. So it's not just her damage. That's the thing about Yai. That's what makes Yai so fucking good right now, is because her C1 is effectively free and it gives so many stats. So she's not just a really good damage dealer, she is also a significant buffer. Have you seen the kit leaks? Yes, I have. They're really funny. And half the units there, it's just like Stellar Conduct unit, Stellar Conduct support, Stellar Conduct off-fielder, Stellar Conduct on-fielder. You're just throwing shit at a wall, man. How are the Mizuki Yai CMC teams looking? Yeah, the mixing this two stellar reactions is a little bit rough. Just because you get good value out of triggering both of the reactions a lot. You get significant damage out of the Stellar Swirl reaction, and you want to be triggering it a lot. You want to be hitting a lot with Cryo and Electro. So it's just going to be difficult to juggle those two Rs at the same time and make a good team. I shouldn't say a good team. It's difficult to juggle those two Rs and make a great team. You're going to be able to make perfectly functional teams with Mizuki Yai CMC. But you're definitely going to need another cryo unit. You definitely are going to need to go double cryo there so you can trigger superconducts and cryo swirls. Is it fun? I don't know. Up to you. Do you think Mizuki is fun? I think Mizuki is kind of fun. I think she's fun in her own way. If I was a leaker, I could say playable Dainsleif every patch. You guys can be leakers. It doesn't take any sort of credibility or, like, you don't have to apply to be a leaker. It's 8-second downtime on either reaction when you proc one. Oh, wait, they changed that? Okay, cool. Good that I am no longer spreading misinformation. I thought they made them compatible. Mizuki is fun, how looking into a kaleidoscope is fun. That's a really good comparison. That's actually an incredible way to put it. 7.4 lantern right buffs? Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not going to say anything for certain because, like I've been saying for the past year, I think that we've been running into a lot of characters who say, oh, I'm getting stronger. And people are interpreting that as buffs. Although Barbaloth did indeed say that she was planning on swinging by Leeway, which I think is a little bit more substantial. That feels like a little bit more substantial foreshadowing, but I'm still not, like, gonna say that anything is guaranteed to happen until we get it. They removed that restriction because running both together has its own inherent issues that kneecap each other. Was Goro nerfed yet? Yeah. Goro's nerfed, guys. Goro got nerfed. He's no longer the best unit in the game. Aoife's getting Stellar Swirl, and I hope it's true so bad. I mean, he's getting Stellar Swirl compatibility. He's not getting any Stellar Swirl damage himself, but this passive that he has that buffs Electrocharge and Swirl, it's getting added on to say it also buffs Stellar Swirl. That's the only compatibility that Aoife's getting. Shao getting buffed so that his mains have... Yep. Shao buff, Shao buff, Shao buff. Make them farm Stellar Swirl set. That's enough for me to be happy. I talked about this a little bit previously. I went over all the changes. Also, welcome in, Emanator. I didn't say that. I went over this a little bit earlier. It's still kind of rough to make a team where this actually matters. Because he wants to have a high total Night Soul for the team, for this buff to have a particularly good value on it. And pretty much the only unit that you can keep, like, his two options, Auroron is the main one. Auroron keeps very, very, very high Night Soul. He gets Night Soul upon triggering Night Soul bursts. He gets Night Soul upon his teammates doing Electro and Hydro damage. So he just gets a bunch of Night Soul, and he can easily max out his Night Soul passive, and he can easily keep Aoife's buff maxed out. And Ian-san is also a unit that has the potential to keep her Night Soul somewhat high, but it's going to be difficult to fit Aoife and one of these two units into a Stellar Swirl team. That's just what it is. He's still going to be like a fine. You can hold VV on him. I think Stellar Swirl is basically going to make it you can do a similar thing like you kind of did with Lunar Charge, where you could just do like a VV crit build on him. So he shreds res, he gets a little bit of Stellar Swirl damage bonus, and he gets a bunch of crit. So he deals a little bit of talent damage, he deals a little bit of reaction damage because Stellar Swirl scales with crit. I think that's probably going to be the most fun way to do any Stellar Swirl stuff with him. Like, I was thinking, I don't know, Aoife Farzan, Odette, Eonsan is, like, not going to be a good team, but it's going to be a functional team where you can realistically get some value out of that passive. Made sure to keep his boyfriend in the same team. Yep. It's so funny. It's so funny that they said, here you go. Here's a restriction that makes you put your boyfriend in your team. Only MLM couple that works together in this game kit-wise. And I mean, I think... What? The only two I can think of is Aoife Auron and Lauma Nefer. Auron's burst alright for Stellar? I guess. I guess it's functional. But he is going to have a much harder time than he did in Lunar. Because Auron needs you to either deal Electro Charge damage or Night Soul damage to proc his bolts and go into Night Soul. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe something could happen with Auron's Stellar Conduct. It's not going to be particularly good, because there already are so many, like, just better options in Beto and Alyosha and, like, Chi-Chi and shit like that. But I think potentially it could work. Bring Seat Lolly. Yeah, bring Seat Lolly. Seat Lolly does not keep good Night Soul totals. Seat Lolly does not keep good Night Soul totals at all. Let's just go do a little itty-bitty test. Ito Goro is a good one. Ito and Goro don't know each other. Oh, you're so right. Escoffier Farina is another one. That's actually a good call out. What am I doing? I'm pulling out Seat Lolly. I'm pulling out Seat Lolly. Get out here, Seat Lolly. How's your day and what the fuck happened to Facecam? It's just not active right now.
I'm never late.
I'm still here. I'm alive, I promise. Hi. I just look like a wet cat today. So I didn't really want to do Facecam this stream. Ito knows Goro, but they aren't that close. These are making me want to pull for C4 while I have the chance. Do not do that. C4 is fucking ass. C4 Mizuki is fucking terrible. All it does is healing. I mean, it does healing, it does a little bit of energy, but her burst does not matter for Stellar playstyle. If you want the extra energy for her regular Swirl playstyle, pop the fuck off. I am certainly going to be doing regular Swirl Mizuki stuff once I get her C1. But also, yeah, it'll probably be free in 7.1 if you don't want another standard unit. But Mizuki C4 is terrible. Awesome, I don't have to then? Yep. Unless you just really, really like her and you want to get towards C6, because C6 is an actual good constellation. 3, 4, and 5 are terrible constellations. They're so bad. So what am I doing? Like, look at this shit. Even double skill off of sack frags. Keeping track of her Night Soul right now. It's going down, it's going down. It's going about the same time as Aoife. It's going a little bit faster than Aoife with sack frags, which she gets a lot of extra Night Soul with sack frags. And both of their Night Soul are going down over the entire rotation, so you start with a decently high buff, but then it falls off pretty quickly. Touch the Wob? Yeah, we'll go hang out with the Wob. We can go hang out with the Wob, I guess. We can go Wob out. Let's go punch some more things. Didn't waste the primos. Wonderful. Glad to be of help. Yeah, that's an awful constellation. Because she doesn't really build for her burst in Stellar Swirl, because the extra swirl procs that you get from her burst, it matters a lot more in her regular swirl playstyle, where her reactions are making up a lot more of her damage. Whereas Stellar Swirl, it's mostly talent damage, and it's not a whole lot of reaction damage. I mean, it's significant, but it's not. The breakdown just doesn't line up. But it is really just extra swirl procs, which are not worth that much. Why is Uduran circletless? Because it probably got stolen by Columbina. Because they both have the exact same stat needs. Light is the head that does not wear the crown. Oh wow. I just didn't claim those. Oh, it's a new week. I could do some of this. Turn skills with HP. True! Hope they don't nerf her into the ground by then. They won't. If they didn't do it this cycle, I never thought that they were going to. I think people are fear-mongering about that. They're like, they don't want a standard unit to be that good. I think they're just going to power creep the shit out of the game. I think that the standard units and the free units are going to be this good, and the limited units are just going to be better. But I think that the standard, you should be fine with a C3 Mizuki. You'll be fine. C1 and 2 are kind of fucking massive. And they can't nerf the effective C2 that's already out. And I don't think C2 is changing with the stellar buffs. C2's fucking nuts. Is there a chance he'll pull for C2 Ryo? No. I will wait for the selector. Maybe if he's not on the selector this year and another buff banner comes around and I don't have any other units at the time that I want to be pulling, it's possible that I could pull a C2 Risley. Because, like, I wouldn't... If it's the same lineup of units, I wouldn't be sad to get any of these constellations except for you. Except for you. Your constellations are awful. But yeah, I want to see C2 Yamiko. I'll take a C1 Sino. I would take some Mizuki constellations. C3 Ryo is so bad? Or do you mean is not so bad? C3 Ryo isn't terrible. I mean, it's normal attacks. It's normal attack talent levels, so it's like it's a talent level constellation, which isn't the best, but this is where all of his damage is coming from. Pretty much none of his damage comes from any other talent. His skill does a tiny bit, but it's really not that much. 50% attack on C2 is kind of swag when I have her on max HP tenacity for Kiki. I guess it helps healing a little bit. But, like, it's just healing. And Chi-Chi often does more than enough healing. Even on my build. That 50% attack only kicks in when you have Stellar Conduct. Or, like, when you have Stellar Radiance. So, I mean, you have Sandrone. So, you actually do get it right now. But, comparing... Let me check, like, an uninvested level 70 Chi-Chi. Level 6 talent. Let's check my Kiki build. I don't really want to break up this team. Perfect. You know, no, let's just bring out Nilu. For the ease of displaying. Let's just bring out Nilu. Hey girl, how you doing? Yeah, perfect. Already on your weapon. And then we go... Let's bring out the Kiki. Let's bring out the Kiki. Is this HP spam? This is not HP spam. What? Where's my HP spam? Where's my HP spam? What if Hoyo makes a playable character called Kiki? Then, unfortunately, I will erase her from my mind. I will destroy her. She won't matter to me at all, not one bit. I guess you just take that. And then we go on HP, circlet. Sure. So that's just full HP Kiki for Key. For Ha, funny Key. And then you also go on full HP. For ease of displaying. And then we go hang out with the crab. There we go. Hang out with the fucking crab. How you doing, girl? She's just having a nice trip to the sauna. And then... it's 2K a tick. Like, it's not crazy healing, but this is a Chi-Chi that is not at all invested into attack. She has a level 5 skill. Shit, I totally thought it was a level 6 skill. What if I hit this domain? The mark healing is where it's insane. Yeah, I also have burst level 1. I have burst level 1. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's hit that. Berry Pad, oh my god, hi. Thank you for the tier 1. Welcome in. Thank you for the subscription. Overslept. Now an early me stream. Yeah, early me stream today because I didn't want to wait to talk about these things. And the stream is ending up being 2 hours long. Yeah, I'm impatient. I'm spending my fucking fragile here. I don't care. I'm evil. I'm evil. I'm building all the characters eventually. They'll all get built eventually. Oh, I could break up this team. That's Bennett, dude? I don't even use Bennett anymore. That dude's dead. I killed him. 6-hour stream confirmed. Fuck you. I was thinking for a moment, I was like, do I want to play more Against the Storm? Now that I've set up the Twitch integration and you guys get to vote on what I do I want to play more Into the Storm or Against the Storm on this stream? And I decided... I still actually haven't decided. There we go. Wonderful. Poll time? Nah, not yet. Kiki. Keep thinking of Kiki's delivery service. I am also always thinking of Kiki's delivery service whenever I say Kiki like that. So you're at least up to talent level 6. Oh, wow. Cool. And then we can craft one more of those. Great. So it's a little bit higher now. We get a tiny bit higher scaling.
Don't break the law.
Is it her skill talent level first? Is that C3? Or I think it's C3 skill, it's C5 burst on Chi-Chi. Oh no, it's C3 burst, it's C5 skill. Oh, okay. Cool, I got it backwards. I guess that makes sense. I mean, I think both of these are pretty terrible talents, but I guess the burst does do a little bit more healing. The burst is probably way higher priority now. I don't know why I'm prioritizing the skill first, but the burst is what actually does good healing, and she can access that healing without using her burst by applying a mark using a normal attack, and it deals damage now. So frankly, yeah, what the fuck am I doing? What is this talent priority? What in God's name am I doing? Why am I leveling her skill up to level 8 and her burst up to level 6? What the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah, and the market's perma uptime and stellar. It's so funny that she still keeps the base effect of her A1. Like, this doesn't matter. This passive doesn't fucking matter. Does a coordinated attack any good? No. It is lower damage than the regular Herald of Frost damage. It's terrible. It's awful. I guess you could build for it, because what the hell else is Chi-Chi gonna build for? That's why I've got Kiki going. That's why we're rocking a good old-fashioned Kiki.
Breathe.
But yeah, it generates energy, but that's not based on the talent level of the skill. So yeah, burst is way more important. Burst provides more healing, burst provides any damage. Why is the burst level so low? Because I was prioritizing her skill first. I don't know why. I think it's just because I was like, fuck it, I get the passive healing from the skill and I want that to be as big as possible. Now I'm getting 2400 procs, so I got 300 extra HP from those 2 skill levels. She's still not fully ascended. She gets a little bit more healing bonus on ascensions. Gonna get a little bit more base attack. It's gonna make her a little bit of a better healer. I'm expecting probably 2.8k procs, something like that on final investment with level 8 skill, level 90. If I had to guess. These ones, this is better. Yeah, 96% versus 104%, and this is only talent level 2 versus 7. But that's really, really funny. Do it. Mark, thank you. Look at that. Can't believe VV died for the Soritsa sin. Thank you for the 100 bits there, Dan. Welcome in. How we doing? I am not surprised at all. That was perhaps the biggest loss that we got from the beta, but I don't think anybody is surprised. I don't think anybody is surprised about any of that. Oh, no, don't heal her. Fuck you. Fine. Whatever. But yeah, like, Chi-Chi's healing is good enough that I really don't think that the 50% attack from C2 matters. It doesn't do anything until C6. I would argue. I would really, really argue. If anything, it's a Risley nerf. Yippee. Happy they remembered other Ascension stats exist again with Yehoda and Alyosha. I'm very happy that Alyosha ascends ER. You don't know how happy I am. A year ago, he totally would have ascended attack. So many fucking characters. They just love throwing attack percent ascensions on 4 stars. They love doing that bullshit. But they were like, holy shit, wait, this one actually doesn't deal any damage. Like, let me think. Most past units... Honestly, attack percent on Yehoda would have been better, because it would have affected her healing and her damage. But I guess it's kind of cool that they got a little bit creative with it. It makes her a tiny bit of a better healer. But like Prune, that's contributing towards her buffs. Itlua has EM, contributes towards his buffs. I know EM is kind of funny. ER would have been better, but she really just doesn't need it, so I'm not complaining that badly. Dahlia HP contributes towards his buffs. Aoife EM, what the hell else do you build on him? Eon-san attack contributes towards buffs. Lanyan contributes towards shield. Imagine if there was like a stat that increased the strength of the shield that you made, like that wasn't actually shield strength. It was like shield absorption. They would have given her that shit. They love throwing attack percent ascend. Charlotte, not having Charlotte ascend ER is kind of evil and fucked up. Ascending attack when she does not need any more healing is fucked up. What did I miss? I just got here. I've just been talking about the new stuff the whole time. And none of it is that big. It's just like most of the gear works now. Most of the gear makes a little bit more sense. Most of the gear is easier to use. The Battle Pass weapons, I think that's probably the most notable thing. Battle Pass bow is a little bit better. It just has an easier condition to meet. If you want to go back on the VOD and watch that, you can find out exactly what it does. But all of the Battle Pass weapons that had crit, instead of being low base attack, high substat, they are now mid base attack, mid substat. Which is kind of really big, with an upcoming region that presumably is going to have a lot of free sources of crit. And, you know, we also have had a lot of free sources of crit from the past 3 regions. I wish Charlotte did more. I wish Escoffier did less. We need to reach a middle point for them. We gotta reach a middle point with them. Okay. How much base HP does she max out at? She's at 10k right now.
Breathe. 3, 4, and
I want math. $12. Okay, so she's gonna get 2,300 more HP. And how much percent does she even have right now? How much is she getting flat? 500. Okay, I'm just gonna round to 5,000 flat. 5,000 flat, so she's getting 25, so that's roughly 250% HP. So she is going to be getting
breathe. 3, 4, and
350, 2, 3, I'm not doing math. She's roughly going to be getting, my build's going to get 8,000 more HP. So she's going to be 48,000. Troy Sivan, Dance to This, featuring Ariana Grande. Okay. Play next. K-Preg, happy K-Preg, everybody.
breathe.
So tired of seeing her in half the cryo teams. Escoffier. I feel so fucking vindicated for skipping Escoffier. It really, like, I don't see her in half the cryo teams anymore. I think she is, like, technically the best in-slot option in a few of the upcoming stellar teams. But I don't think she's better by very much. Will you fucking stop it, dude? I don't think she's better by very much. She's just there because, oh, I guess she does a little bit of Stellar, or she does a little bit of Red Shred, which Stellar teams are really lacking Red Shred right now. But once they get more synergistic options, I think Escoffier gets the boot pretty quickly. Can you mark the cats on the Inazuma Island? I doubt it. They don't have health bars. You didn't even see her in skirt clears because they're at 360p and 400 FPS. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just Skirk. It's pretty much just Skirk teams, and I didn't get Skirk. Cryo teams are doing so much better. Cryo teams have just gotten so many more options. And they're about to get so many more. Like, they've gotten a lot of options over the past year that aren't reliant on them. Yeah, I can't mark these cats. But, hold on. Let's go take a little bit of damage in the pool. Let's go jump to the sauna. Damn. There are a lot of good cryo teams now that aren't, like, very reliant on the cryo unit. Like, because they are doing, like, forward melt stuff with Durin, and Durin has such a good forward melt team, you can kind of just throw whatever cryo unit you want on field to do some application, do a little bit of damage. But now with Stellar stuff, I think they're going to be getting even more. I mean, it's weird, because Stellar stuff doesn't benefit a lot of non-Stellar units, so it's mostly just characters that got buffed are getting some more stuff. Fuck around with Ayaka, and it's so hard to find interesting team combos without fucking Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, Ayaka is a little bit of a... I do not use my Ayaka at all. Honestly, maybe if I were to say I regret any one unit, Ayaka might be it. I don't fully regret her. I think that she's still a fine enough unit. Okay, no. I was seeing if I could get the full party healing off of that.
Faster.
Light Tassel does work on the new local legend. I thought we all knew that. I thought that was the joke that everyone made because we tested it. Everyone made the joke just because they saw him for the first time, but then I think we actually did go and test it. You still play NTE? Not consistently. I did last stream, but I don't do it daily. Oh, yeah, wait, though. I have to go into the alt. I haven't done my alt dailies. I think I want to go back to the main in a little bit, but let's at least check in on the alt. I'm in ads and I queued the Troye Sivan song. Oh my god, great. So lovely. Buffs made me unbench her because I ship Yayaka. I'm determined to make my ships meta. Such a beautiful way to play the game. Finish my lab. Congratulations, Moss. Here you go. You get jump scared. You get blinded by the wrath of the sun. Light of the sun. The what the fuck did she say? I don't know. Okay, what are we farming today? Ooh, I think we just have to lock in and do more Mora. Sorry, boring day, guys, but we have to ley line Mora. We have to do Mora ley lines. I could do like half Mora ley lines, half XP ley lines. Light of the blazing sun. Rat from the sky. Full throttle. What a queen. There is, like... I don't want to put a number to it, but there is such a non-zero chance that I get Mawika on a rerun on my main account.
Pretty strong.
I refuse to do ley lines without overflow. You must live a very sad life. You must not level any characters ever. You must not be a character leveling addict like me. I think she'd be fun on main. Mav's appeal is living in the in banishment on the alt. I think she would be fun on the main. I think she might be. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about her. Have everyone I own at level 90. Genuinely how? I have to farm the shit out of ley lines. And I still don't have all my characters at level 90. Does it make sense? Hi Soul. Yeah, the beta actually makes sense now. The gear options make sense. VV got gutted as we expected. Have you? I assume you've seen the changes. I'm telling you, acting like you haven't seen the changes. Maybe you haven't. Basic summary: VV got gutted, but we all understand. We all knew that was gonna happen. I'm mostly happy about the battle pass weapons. I'm still not like so compelled to get a battle pass weapon, but I think the bow is a little bit more of an interesting option now. I think the catalyst is a little bit more of an interesting option now. I think mainly I'm still not dedicated on getting any of the battle pass weapons except for the polearm, because polearm's funny. Nothing matters to me other than that polearm. Crazy, crazy. Who would have expected this? Who would have expected Mies and Selena both only care about the polearm? Questers have less of a use for ley lines. I'm a quester. I am such a quester. I know quests give a crap ton of more in books, but it's not enough. They also giga buff to Charlotte. Stop lying. I was like trying to feels craft some shit about Stellar Swirl Aoife, but that I think that's not really gonna matter. I wasn't mad about Aoife not having Stellar Swirl because he wasn't gonna have good options for it anyways. But I guess it's cool that they included him now. Hazo works, yippee. Hold on, do you check your quest tab right now? Moss, you come in on my fucking alt and you're like telling me to explore everywhere and drop all my pins everywhere and do all my quests on my alt. No. I do it on my main. I'm fucking leylining on the alt because I don't want to do the exploration and the questing on my alt. But I do it on the main and I still have to leyline there. They made the kits not be borked with this new thing. Yep, bars in hell. I mean, a lot of it was just expected. Like the battle pass weapons not being high substat is really nice. That's not expected, but the Stellar Swirl kit actually functioning on Sandrone was expected, and that's a nice thing that they did.
Not too far now. Tell me what you see.
Stop right there. Controlled breathing.
Yippee.
Let's ride. Pyroclastic surge.
Actually, I should be doing books now.
Do this then.
I said I would do half Mora, half books. But I guess I'll at least kill these guys. Funny if they just never acknowledge Hazo. That would be funny. But unfortunately they did. Unfortunately, he is not bricked in Stellar Swirl anymore. Because, like, he doesn't gain much meaningful from Stellar Swirl. Plunge Hazo! Yippee! You know what? I guess that's a thing. I guess that's a real thing because Hazo has such fucking miserable normal attack multipliers that giving him easier access to plunges does make him a bit of a better on-fielder. Maybe I'll see if I can do anything with that. His charge attack is like 100% motion value at talent level 8. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like 130. I'm not even exaggerating. I've tried to make my boy work, but they did not want to give him multipliers on his normals. I would have hoped they kept VV at 30 or 40 because I get the nerf, but it's a big nerf. I'm fine with it. I'm so fine with it. I'm so fine with VV not being a meaningful damaging set because it's so fucking difficult to build. And it makes the domain more valuable. I'm really happy about that. Because if I only had to farm that domain, if VV was still as good as it was, and I still wanted to be using VV on a lot of units, and I was only farming that domain for the support set, that'd feel fucking awful. Thought they would remove the bonus entirely? Oh, really? You expected them to remove the bonus entirely? They always, I didn't expect that. They always give like a little bit of a buff to the new reactions. Like Thundering Fury has a Lunar Charge damage bonus buff. It also has a Stellar Conduct damage bonus buff. He should at least function to get stacks. Yes, he does. What else is notable? That's kind of it.
Coach will take it from here.
I'm refusing to call it an Alyosha nerf because I think people will tweak out too hard if they hear nerf. It's not a meaningful enough change to like actually call it a nerf. It is a nerf. He's doing less numbers, but I'm calling it a rework. Because I think it's better for communication. It's maybe a less accurate communication purpose, or it's less accurate for the purposes of communication. But I think that when people hear the word nerf, they freak out too much. So I'm choosing to not use it. It is more about the red shred, yeah. Oh no! 5% attack, 5% damage bonus! Fuck, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna explode. Light of the blazing sun. Change annoys me because I think in practice C6 is still very pushed, even if less damage, but pre-C6 is far more disproportionately affected. What do you mean? I came to the exact opposite conclusion. I don't really think it's a meaningful change to either of them. I don't even know if he's competitive with alternatives in Stellar pre-C6 now. It's pretty much Chi-Chi. Is Chi-Chi, it's a Scofier. I thought it was fine because I was like, I think it gives Chi-Chi a little bit more of a... It gives Chi-Chi a reason to exist, whereas she was just a side grade to Alyosha at C0, and if everybody was going to be getting a free C0 Alyosha, Chi-Chi at least has something now. But yeah, those units aren't Electro. So I think him being an Electro unit, even if he is worse, his identity of being an Electro unit, I think is still enough to make him an interesting unit that can have some implications for team building. I mean, obviously I would have just preferred if they didn't remove his numbers. I would have liked it better if I said myself, I would have liked it better if they just removed from his Stellar Conduct damage bonus buffing. And if they kept his attack buffs the same, so he would be a lot more functional in non-stellar teams. But I don't have a big problem with the changes as they are. How does Prune work? I don't know. I have no clue. My point is C6. Oh yeah, C6 could have been nerfed. Yes, if they were gonna nerf anything, I would have preferred that they just nerf C6. But I don't think that C or pre C6 is disproportionately affected. I think that C6 is actually more affected because his baseline stacks got lower and his C6 gives him 2 stacks. I'm still going to be happy with him. They didn't do that because they want to keep the relevance of C6? Yeah. I totally agree with that. I agree with that. Where is my ley line? I would have preferred that they take more power. They take power away from his C6, and I would have preferred if Tidal stopped fucking exploding. But I don't think they are going to do that. And what they did do, I'm fine with. I think you'll feel the difference from non-C6 to C6 more. Perhaps. I guess, yeah, it makes the EM buff of C6 matter more. Because he gives less stats at a baseline. So the flat buff, the 100 EM that didn't get nerfed, is going to be more affected. I still think that it is a negligible nerf. I think it is a nerf, but it's not enough for me to care that much about, is my thing. It's kind of annoying what they did, but that's, I think, the worst of it. It's kind of annoying. I still think Alyosha has a place in teams, in stellar teams pre-C6. I still think he has a place in even non-stellar teams pre-C6. I don't like all the power that's in his C6, but I'm gonna have fun with him without C6. Or maybe I will get C6, guys. My title for the stream is "Wow, these changes are boring." I'm happy with the gear changes, which is why I titled my stream as it is. I am actually kind of happy about the gear changes. The artifacts were mostly expected, but I'm happy with the weapons. I'm happy that we have a good bow on Battle Pass now. Oh wait, I'm already done with resin. Shit. Okay. There we go. Quite surprised Mizuki hasn't been nerfed. I'm not. I don't expect Mizuki to be changed.
Thank you for
Because Cryo Traveler is also insane.
add Astra.
So, like, Cryo Traveler is not the one using the DPS set in the new Stellar teams. Because he just does more damage than Odette, and I think he has better synergy. But I think even before the set synergy changed, I think he just did more damage. She's far stronger than she needs to be. I agree, but I think they're just going to be doing insane power creep on the limited. I think that the limited units are just going to be better. And also, like, the fact that Mizuki, yes, Mizuki is a free unit, but I think that people are kind of underplaying the fact that if you pick Mizuki from the selector, you're not picking another unit. And, like, numerically, Mizuki is easily the best unit to be picking from the standard selector. But, like, it's not a free unit. It's not a completely free constellation. You are giving up something by picking a Mizuki from the selector. You are giving up something by picking, like, C1 Yai from the constellation selector. It's not that much, but it is kind of a way of Hoyo restricting how many things are given out. Yeah, VV Nerf just changed her best set. I think she already was using Stellar Swirl set anyways. I think she was able to use Stellar set already. Is there a website where I can see what character skills scale with? I mean, oh, like new characters? Nanoka. Nanoka. NANOKA.cc. With assumed better uptime was VV. VV was better previously. Now I believe new set should be better. I saw all sorts of different things. I saw a few different calcs with a few different things. Is relatively close. I thought that I saw what? Like usually FARs on stuff on VV. But it's really nice that the new set actually being best in slot now makes her way easier to build, because VV, crit builds on VV, fucking nightmare. Fucking nightmare. It's in the CN text. Wait, does it still not say? Oh, it still says attack. I didn't realize. It still says that the set gives attack instead of crit rate, but yeah, it does actually give crit rate. Something's weird in this beta where things are just not getting properly translated to English. Is there anything else I can even do on the alt? I kind of just wanted to log in to spend my resin. Fuck it. Fuck it. Bringing Yansan to level 70, baby. But yeah, I'm not really surprised that Mizuki didn't get nerfed. I feel like they have Mizuki at a power level that they want, because both Mizuki and CMC are kind of punching above their weight class right now. So I think what this means is just that limited units are going to be kind of wild. And right now, even though Odette is doing reasonable damage, I can easily see Odette being the Shilonen of the region. And I don't think that's a hot take. I think most people are expecting her to be a sort of Shilonen type unit. Or even to an extent, maybe Aino type of unit. Where, like, she's still very usable in all of the stellar teams, but she's not best in slot anywhere. She might be pushed out of a lot of stellar teams. I think she is going to be the Odette of the region. Odette is definitely going to be the Odette of the region. If I had to guess. Is Alyosha's healing also a mistranslation? No. Alyosha's healing does not scale off of crit rate. Mega chill and my #1 streamer for sure. Oh my god, thank you so much, Zeit. Thank you. Very sweet of you. Kind of tired of making one unit equivalencies when team core comparisons are better. Yeah, I agree. I try not to.
Rise with the sun. Drop your
That's why I try to say like more of a blank. I don't try to make direct equivalencies because there's no direct equivalency. I think Yayo Decor is similar to being an FA. Yeah, I agree. I try to use a bunch of different words just to get people to understand vaguely what role she will fill.
The rewards of an adventure worth them.
I think honestly, maybe an Ino type unit is maybe the best one that I've come up with. I think people might take that as a bit more of an insult than it is because people think Ino is worse than she is. But like a unit that is comfortable and that works decently in all these teams and enables a decent amount of stuff. Will she fill the void in my heart? Surely. Where the hell do I go to grab that? I'm just walking around grabbing fucking Oculi now. So Ino or Bina? I absolutely think Ino. Because Bina is supposed to be the best in slot in those teams. And I think there's probably going to be individual best in slot. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do this year. Want to minimize? Yeah, we're looking for, I'm already looking forward to, do I have a level 1 Fab Spear? This is not my main account. This is not my main account. I'm already looking towards min-max, or not min-maxing, just minning Alyosha attack for Wriothesley. No maxing, just minning. I think it's gonna be kind of fun. It's fucked up and stupid that Wriothesley is designed in the way that he is, that he's so anti-healer and all of these new Stellar Conduct supportive units are healers. But it is going to be kind of fun. I know it's fucked up and evil what they're doing to me, that they're like, Alyosha is healing, he's bad for Wriothesley, but I'm going to have fun minimizing Alyosha's healing as much as I can. Keep even a C4 Alyosha around 1k healing per tick with even a crown skill. Ooh-wee. Exciting. What do you build him on then? You build him on... Is it going to be Noblesse? It's either going to be Noblesse or Stellar Supportive Set. Don't think it'll be too hard to work around the healing problem. I agree. I think it should be easy enough. You can minimize healing on Alyosha and be alright. There are probably going to be decent supportive options. Like Odette already is a decent supportive option. Not really supportive. Ah! Give me that. That doesn't do any healing. I think it'll be fine. It's just kind of annoying and weird and a little bit scummy. C1 Wriothesley is more problematic than Alyosha healing? What do you mean? C1 Wriothesley is more problematic than healing. I kind of want to get back onto the main now. I claimed all my dailies, right? Yeah. Yes. Oh, can we do a wish? You can. It's harder to keep HP down to trigger stellar damage. It is? Wow, I got the best weapon in the game. How is it harder to keep HP down or with C1? Oops, that's the wrong thing. Would Farina mitigate it or not? Farina might make it a little bit more comfortable to play with. But Farina is going to be a pretty terrible supportive option in those teams. Pretty much all she's going to have is tenacity. And her application isn't useful. Those teams don't really want Hydro for anything. Technically possible, but I don't think it's worth it. I think you just want to be minimizing healing. Flashbang. More enemies with massive persistent AoE damage. Exactly. So how does Wriothesley C1 affect his healing at all? It's just damage bonus, isn't it? Shadow Conduct full EM Wriothesley. Valerie will fix Rising problems? Surely because Valerie won't be an on-fielder. Maybe I was misinformed by Tars? I think you might have been misinformed by Tars. After a Luster Vaulting Fist, yeah, after the fifth normal attack hits, you get... Wait. After the charge attack hits, you get more damage on the fifth hit, and after the fifth attack hits, you get more hits on the more on the charge attack. What's the base count effect? It doesn't matter because it doesn't activate in Stellar Conduct. The base count effect is that you get your charge attack when you hit his fifth normal when he's in his skill state, and it reduces the cooldown of his special charge attack from 5 seconds to 2.5 seconds, but also the Stellar Conduct effect already reduces it to 2 seconds. So it's already lower, and I've tested it. This effect just gets entirely removed in Stellar Conduct. It just says, fuck you, ignore this part. This part is the only part that matters in Stellar Conduct. You don't get his regular charge attack after hitting his fifth normal. Tars didn't realize C1 effect is removed with pre-C6 Stellar, probably. Probably, yeah. But in any case, it still wouldn't matter, because if you get his special charge attack after hitting your fifth normal, you still don't do a charge attack until you get the Stellar charged attack. So... like you wouldn't do a regular unenhanced charge attack with Wriothesley and his combos anywhere, unless it was to proc the effect of the new Battle Pass weapon. Yippee! So yeah, C1 shouldn't change anything with how easy it is to get his stuff. Stellar or Old Reliable Melt Ryo. Old Reliable Melt Ryo is still fucking kicking. He's still having a good time. But Stellar Wriothesley is struggling. Stellar Wriothesley's just having just having issues, unnecessary issues. How's the craftable on him? Slightly better than Widsith. Slightly better than Widsith with way better consistency. It's better than, like, Widsith is better on him than Yai because he gets way better uptime on Widsith because he doesn't go early into the rotation. But, New Craftable is still better. Purity helps mitigate Alyosha healing. Yeah, but Purity gives damage bonus. Purity does give damage bonus, so I don't think it's going to be worth it. Going a worse weapon over that. Stellar can be managed. Yeah, Stellar can be managed so you get the charge attack consistently, but I do miss the brain off play style. It's not even brain off. Honestly, I feel like Stellar's a little bit more brain off. Having to get to the end of the combo is a condition, and I really enjoy playing him like that. Forgot it wasn't attack? Yeah, it's not attack, it's damage bonus. It sucks. How do I know if a character needs EM? Because I'm new and I don't get why every character does not need EM. Because, well, a lot of characters do need EM. EM affects reaction damage. So if your character is triggering a significant amount of reactions and is, like, using reactions to deal a significant amount of their damage, then they like EM. So whether that's a unit like Sethos, who just triggers a fuckload of reactions, he likes EM for that reason. Or Mawika, who triggers one big reaction in her melts. She likes EM to increase the damage of her melts. And now, because all of the new characters are using, you know, lunar damage and stellar damage is considered reaction damage. So instead of scaling on regular damage bonus, they also scale on EM. So for Flynn's, he would need a butt ton. He still scales off of attack at a baseline, but he appreciates EM as a stat. His teams run a lot of EM buffs, so he doesn't need a ton of EM built on himself, but he does appreciate it. It's you play the way we tell you? Yes. Yes, it is. It's always you play the way we tell you. Which is why I'm being a dickhead and I'm still gonna fucking end up playing Melt Wriothesley. I want Melt Wriothesley! Even once I get good Stellar units and I'm gonna have good access to Stellar stuff, I'm still gonna go back to this team because I'm gonna get C2. And C2 still affects his main playstyle. Keep getting fucking all these notifications. Does Genshin make the scaling confusing? No, it does. Genshin's just confusing and it's bad at conveying information. The information is all there if you know where to look for it, but knowing where to look for it and knowing what information matters is the hard part. Is this SIG still good for Stellar? Yeah. They adjusted it. They didn't buff it, they adjusted it. Because it gives regular damage bonus, so that regular damage bonus wouldn't have been good in Stellar, so they also gave him Stellar damage bonus. What's EM like as a stat for Stellar Risley? The exact same as Flynn's. It's not a priority. You want attack over EM, but he does benefit from EM buffs. It's a good substat. Imagine if they fucking put the SIG on the banner and they bricked it. Imagine if they put the SIG on the banner and they bricked it. Surely they wouldn't do anything like that. Yes, and also EM is the only stat that has real diminishing returns. Each point of EM that you build makes each point of EM that you already have worth a little bit less. 100 Apollo gems? I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about fucking the fact that his new stellar damage, his these things aren't considered skill damage anymore. So right now, currently, Sino, he easily gets all of his stacks from Staff of Scarlet Sands from doing a single skill. Where is this? Because all of his Duststalker bolts hit. My build has 154 EM just from substats. That sounds fine. Crit is probably preferable, but EM is not a bad stat. You're getting so many sources of damage bonus, stellar damage bonus, that it's a little less valuable. But look at that. All 3 stacks. Yippee. Happy good times. All 3 stacks. But because his Duststalker bolts are getting converted into stellar conduct damage, which is not elemental skill damage, he only gets 1 stack per enhanced skill. Which is funny. Rhymegrass's Wheel, will you play Burn, Rhyme, Melt, Emily? Maybe if it works. I will be playing Sethos in Rhymegrass Aggravate shit. In Stellar Rhymegrass whatever Aggravate shit. Is that a wrong thought process? It's basically, for all of the lunar units, or all the lunar and the stellar units that deal direct reaction damage, and really most units in the game, like Mawika as well, the main priority that you do for a unit that is dealing their majority of their damage through reactions, number 1, crit stats. Number 2, their main stat that they scale off of, which is whatever, like Risley is attack, Mawika is attack, Tsibai is def %, and then EM after that. EM is like the final stat that I would consider a good stat on those units. Then you start getting into like flat stats, like flat attack. EM is better than flat attack on Risley, but it's worse than attack % or crit. Attack value is because relative lack of buffs in Flynn's teams, yeah. And stellar teams as well. But also it's because attack doesn't give diminishing returns. Ah. Crit will generally scale better, but attack is, I would consider their main scaling stat to be right under crit. It's worse, but it's not significantly worse. Came from other games. I just want to make non-meta teams because it's a fun challenge, but it's so annoying. Yeah, you know what? They also have made it very difficult in the past, like, 2 years. You would have had a much better time if you came in a little bit earlier. I was like, when I first started making videos, was kind of like really when the scuff teams started to go out. I still think that more scuffed stuff works in Abyss. It functions in Abyss. But team building has gotten a lot less flexible recently. Like, this, relatively, what I'm playing right now, Emily, Nicole, Duran, Sino, a lot of people would look at this team and be like, what? This is crazy. This is such a weird team. But, like, realistically, these are 4... Sino's not that strong, but I do have a Sig Sino, and he does have good synergy with this team. But this is 3 very fucking strong units that are all benefiting each other a lot. It's a synergistic, strong team, but this would be considered a scuff team by a lot of people's standards. Yee. This is why IT is the best mode ever. We do love IT here. I don't love the fact that IT is real bad at, like, you don't get to use the teams you want, but you at least get to use the characters you want. What standards? People who don't think for themselves standards. People who watch pre-release videos and see, oh my god, this team does X number. I need to only play teams that do X number. But hi, welcome in Uru Sono. But like this team, granted, I've got some good investment in it. Let's go make sure everyone's geared. And let's go damage test this team. No, we stay on you. We keep Deepwood here. Frustrating how obfuscated the damage formula for Lunar Stellar talent damages. Yeah, I definitely think they did that shit on purpose. I definitely think they're trying to make information harder to come by. I don't think that's like the primary purpose of what they're doing, but I think it definitely is a contributing factor. Evil what they've been doing. But like this team, let's take a look at this team. Yippee for Sino getting infusion from skill. This isn't 140k DPS, this is garbage. You're jumping to my point. You're jumping to my point. I'm trying to make my point. Fuck. I can get this up to 100k DPS team. Alright, we just give up on getting this full rotation. Garbage fucking team. Granted, like, I have vertical investment in this team. This team is well invested. I have a very good Emily build, I have an alright Duran build, and I have him on Sig. I have an alright Sino build, and I have him on Sig. Let's just fucking cut it off there, because I can't be bothered to play much better than that. But, like, this is a perfectly fine team. This is a team that has more than enough DPS to beat a Stygian boss as long as a Stygian boss is not too hostile towards it, especially now that Sino actually fucking functions in Stygian. This is going to have no problem with almost any Abyss unless the Abyss is like super hostile towards this, unless we get like nothing but fucking 3 Hydrotopos in a row. But like people look at this team and they go, this is terrible, this is unusable. And it's ridiculous. Baseline investment is probably around 60 to 70k with decent build investment. Yeah, which 60 to 70, it's definitely gotten a lot better because of my weapons that I pulled. I have weapons on all my significant damage dealers in the team, and I do have a Skyward Atlas on Nicole, which I didn't pull for, but not everybody has a Skyward Atlas on Nicole. It is an invested and optimized team that is not performing crazy well, but like people will look at this and say that it's unplayable. And that's just ridiculous. That's just stupid. What refine is that Skyward Atlas? You can't rage bait me about that anymore because I don't use Skyward Atlas on my prune anymore. I don't do that anymore. I am gonna have minor issues in next Stygian if I'm using Varka against the Fatui and I'm using Risley against the Stellar Conduct boss. Because then I will be already using Risley Sig. If you fight a Hydrotopla, just use Dark Durin and it should work. It actually probably wouldn't be awful. It'd probably be doable just because Hydrotopla is so low HP. But like it's a significant decrease to Cyno's damage and it's a significant decrease to Emily's damage is my point. And they are both significant damage dealers on the team. Guess I'll be getting some Hyper Blooms though. But yeah, even 60 to 70k is even fine for, like, this is a team, with my investment that I have, it's going to be able to clear Stygian bosses that aren't particularly suited for it, but aren't actively hostile towards it. 60 to 70 still probably clears Stygians that work well with the mechanics. Like this, I think this definitely has more, this whoops Watcher. No question, this fucking whoops Watcher. Baseline investment, you might have to do some optimization, but my investment, this fucking peels Watcher like a banana. Anyways, the Stygians are likely going to be rarer and rarer. Likely. In which case, I still got Abyss. We still got Abyss. I don't know, I'm not so doomy about Stygian because it seems like sometimes they do let up and they do give us a good one. Watcher and Tulpa in one Stygian was kind of fucking awesome. And this Stygian is also kind of bad. But like Arlecchino boss and next Stygian? That should be pretty doable with a lot of different types of teams. Varka team whoops it, Flynn's team whoops it. Although Knuckle Duckle's going to be there, so Flynn's team is definitely going to be a lot less of a consideration. Knuckle Duckle's going to be evil. I don't know how evil the Stellar Conduct boss is going to be. Yeah, and they removed the cryo aura that it gives. Duckle is there. Duckle's there to ruin my dire clear. They hate me. It's a boss that chills Arlecchino. It's the, last time it was the Cryo Fatui, but they swapped it to Animo. 5-minute stream, by the way. Animo Fatui is going to be far more boring. Why is... I don't understand. I just don't know if there are any meaningful differences between their kit. Needing to care about being hit was the one enjoyable part of Cryo. Sure. I didn't spend enough time fighting the boss and learning its passives, or learning its moves to actually, like, agree myself, but that's a reasonable point. I'm much more inclined to learn the fight if I'm not getting slowed by Cryo every time I get hit. Because, like, I think it's just an overly punishing mechanic. I think not getting hit is... It's fine to make incentives for not getting hit if the attacks are better telegraphed, but maybe that's just me not knowing the mechanics. Spent a long time fighting it and it grew on me. This is what this is sounding like to me is those people who were like defending the Elden Ring bosses. When there were all these fucking, every time when Elden Ring first came out and then the DLC came out and everyone was talking about these bosses are impossible. And then like months later people are coming out and they're like, actually I've done 9 different challenge runs against these bosses and now they're really fun to fight. And I don't think that it's inherently a bad thing. Like I don't think that's inherently bad game design. But it's game design that is going to hose some people, and it's going to be fun for some people. It's a game design that does sacrifices some people. It sacrifices a more casual experience for a more dedicated experience, and that's just a choice. That's not a good thing or a bad thing, it's just a choice. So basically Stockholm Syndrome. No, I'm not going to let you be reductive. You don't want the dedicated aspect, and the end result is a DPS check. Yeah, I understand why it might be a little more relevant to talk about actually learning the boss's mechanics for a gacha game. That just wasn't the way I wanted to experience the boss, is really the most I can say about it. Not looking forward to having to fight Duckle with Varesa again. I'm gonna have such an easy time next Stygian, and that makes me kind of sad. I don't think I'm gonna struggle at all. I'm not even gonna have to work around. I had a pretty easy time with this Stygian, but I at least had to think a little bit about like what I had to be using and where. But I just have good invested teams for what next Stygian wants. Maybe I just try going for worse and worse clears. Maybe that's my decision. Want to try the 4-star Lohan team on my account? Maybe. Perhaps. I still don't love how Lohan feels. I'm still not totally sold on Lohan. I don't know if I'd have the most fun optimizing him in particular. Because what? I was talking about this, I think I mentioned this. wait, I forgot. I was watching one of your VODs, and you were talking about how you tried to do quick swap stuff with Sino, and you were like, Sino just feels awful. And I'm like, and I thought to myself, you know what? Yeah, Sino does feel awful. As big Sino fan, as big Sino lover, Sino does feel awful, and that's why I love him. But like, that's just the characters that I enjoy. That's my experience with the game. The characters that I enjoy weird, uncomfortable characters that take a little bit of work to like make them rotate smoothly and feel okay. See, when attack speed not working annoys me? Wait, what? Oh, you mean to get the eye faster? Yeah, it's just feel. It's just entirely feel. I mean, attack speed is almost always entirely feel. But I always love units that feel a kind of a little bit gross, because then when you find situations that feel good, it feels extra rewarding to me. I like units that you kind of have to work for to make them feel all right. Boom. I like the struggle. There's a reason I enjoy locking in for 8 hours worth of attempts on Mualani. I wish I was a little bit more inclined to do Mualani lock-in on the Night Soul boss, but it's just so fucking hostile to Mualani teams. It's so evil towards Mualani teams. I might be able to make something work if I do, like, I don't know, Nicole Durin something? Just Nicole for the big-ass shield? And Durin for the supplemental damage? Try Clorand? I know I would like Clorand. But, like, that's fundamentally why I'm really, really enjoying Malwika on my alt. Because Malwika is one of those units that feels kind of gross. And you really have to put some time into making her feel good. Exhibit Aloy. We're not doing reviews. Oh, we could turn on reviews, I guess. But I'm also going to end stream somewhat soon, I think. I really didn't want to go for too much longer. It's 2 o'clock where I am. We could do a few reviews. There we go. Reviews on. I like Groves feeling off-fielders instead of on-fielders. I like both. I like both. I think I'm just a little bit too Dark Souls pilled. Because Dark Souls does feel a little bit Dark Souls and Monster Hunter. I'm a little bit too Dark Souls and Monster Hunter pilled. I'll go live in a bit if you want to rate a convenience. Yeah, we could do that. I keep saying I wanna end stream somewhat soon, and then I just don't. We could do a raid back. I'm too Dark Souls pilled and I'm too Monster Hunter pilled, and those are games that feel disgusting until you put like 30 hours into them at least. That's crazy that Aqua snuck in and stole that fucking review. That's actually crazy. That's evil of you, Aqua. And now I'm stalling this review until whoever else wanted a review gets one. I would refund it if that meant it removed the cooldown, but it wouldn't, so I'm not gonna bother. What the hell am I doing? I wonder if the good artifact spots... That's just produce! I wonder if the good artifact spots are back. I haven't even been checking. Have I been checking? I've just been running in circles this entire stream. There's a 2-second cooldown? There's not. There's like a 2-minute cooldown. Because I don't want to get inundated with reviews when one person... There's 3-minute cooldown. I don't want, when one person gets a review, everybody else goes, ooh, wow, I should get a review too. And then everyone reviews them at the same time. Everyone redeems a review at the same time, and then I get fucking flooded. Oh, yep, no artifacts here. I already did this. Have you tried DPS Nicole with Dirt on support set? No, I fear I'm a fake fan. I suggested DPS Nicole in my video, and then I just haven't done any DPS Nicole shit. Because DPS Nicole is actually a type of unit that I think just feels bad. I don't think, I personally, I don't think that there is a point where she feels good. Her charge attack just is not satisfying enough to me. If I can put my 8 hours of footage together, you may change your mind. I'll be looking forward for it. How in the world would DPS Nicole even function? What do you mean? She gives a bunch of attack buffs to herself as well as the rest of the party. And like her numbers are... But she's got a pyro charge attack. She can react with that shit. Or you could just reg shred it. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, but it's not terrible. It's not as bad as Prune main DPS. Which I probably will play a little bit more. Oh wow, I really did get everything. Shit. Did I do that this stream? I already forgot. But she'd have to be on field? Why is that a recipe for disaster? What's wrong with Nicole being on field? Only 4-star teammates get 60k Durn instead of Benny gets 80k plus. I'm assuming that's a C0 Durin. Did you calc with the C0 Durin?
Speak for themselves.
You know what? Let's you know what we do? Since we're talking about it so much. Sure, fuck it. You guys can trade. You guys can trade today. Although I'm not even going to be getting the set bonus because I want to manually level. My baby boy Ayato and his newly acquired C3? How? Turned off C2 and subtracted the C1 Durin buff. Okay. How? Newly acquired C3 Ayato? Selector. I'm a dumbass. I forgot he was on the selector. Sorry, I erase Ayato from my brain. It's not on purpose, I promise. I erase him from my silly little brain. I was like, what? How did you pull a fucking... I just saw a thing behind me. Yeah, I'm too meta-brained, guys. I'm too meta-pilled. I'm too much of a sheet pig. A meta-pig sheet slop. Here we go. Let's do some freaking manual leveling, why don't we? No, no, easy. Who are... She must have some fuck-ass weapon equipped. Does C3 even do anything? Is it skill talent levels? I assume it's skill talent levels. A real Ayato hater would know he's on selector to laugh at him. I'm like... Ayato's like a funny skirk to me. There it is. He's like a funny skirk where I don't care about his kid at all. But at least he's funny. At least he's silly. Hi, Pashek. What's up? What the hell is your Mizuki holding? I guess we'll find out together. Bullshit? Fruit of Fulfillment. He got his Sitlali and his C3 this patch. He's doing great. Wow. That's a whole 10k DPS there. That's a 50% increase. I'm done. I'm stopping. It's over. I'm done being mean. I'm done, I promise. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. They're all pyro. They're all pyro resist. Look at that. Look at that, guys. She's doing so great. Those are some numbers. You gotta love these numbers. C3 is one of his best cons. Oh my god. You know what? I'm so happy that you have so much love for Ayato. Let him drink his boba tea in peace. He doesn't leave me alone. So why should I leave him alone? I could also be bursting. Go! Proc. 10Ks! Let's go. Main DPS Nicole might actually be the optimal solution for manual leveling. Because she activates the mushrooms, she's got a shield, she's comfy. You need Mika for the attack speed? So true. Even though Mika's already fully leveled. Sorry, girl. You're getting replaced. You leave him alone, I am here to spread propaganda. And we love to have you here. We do love to have you here.
Let me double check our...
Look at her go! Look at her go, guys! Look at her fucking go, she's so fast! Why is she dealing like less damage? Hold on. Oh, okay, no, it's fine. She's so fucking good, guys. I do need to level her normals, at least to level 8. Not that that's gonna do that much. Yeah, why the fuck does the C2 do 50% HP? Yeah, because he's got that stupid fucking Nami-sen stacks. That do, like, a less than 1% scaling of his HP. Need more attack speed? How am I gonna get more attack speed? Who can give me more attack speed? I can't give her Risley Sig. Her HP isn't changing. Enter Yunjin. My Yunjin is not C6. My Yunjin is C4, I believe. Right? Jean. My Jean is not C2. Great suggestions here. If only I had them. Built-in Jade Gutter. Fucking basically. Dahlia. My Dahlia is not ascended. I have like no sources of attack speed on this account. Because why does attack speed matter? I have 25% from Mika. That's all I need. Come on, what more could I use? Chong Yun, there we go. That's our first call out. That's actually a real suggestion. See how long it takes to kill this motherfucker. It matters for Ayato? Yeah, hold on. Let me pull out the Ayato. Let me pull out the Ayato. Then why doesn't his Sig give it? Then why doesn't his fucking Sig give it? Where's the attack speed on the Sig? Come on. They restricted it to Yunjin. They said, fuck you, you gotta use Yunjin solo Geo and have the worst time of your life to get attack speed on Ayato. I hate that you have that and I don't. Yeah, get mad about it. Get upset. Why don't you have it? It's not even that good. It's fucking, the entire effect is 52% damage bonus. Give it, you don't deserve it. You wanna know when I got it? I got it when I was going for Staff of Scarlet Sands. I wanted a Staff of Scarlet Sands and I didn't have a guarantee, and that's when I learned to...
Possibilities come to a close.
It's fine, it doesn't matter. That's when I learned to not go on Weapon Banner if I don't have a guarantee. At this point, there's a better weapon for him? There might be. Does Jade Cutter do more because of the HP scaling? Does he ascend? He ascends crit damage, right? He doesn't ascend crit rate, so you won't have crit rate issues with Jade Cutter. I mean, you will have crit issues with Jade Cutter because it's Jade Cutter. Anyways, let's look at these reviews. I've been stalling long enough. And you know what? We're going to do Ayato first. Because that was completely unnecessarily mean of you, Aqua. We're going to go Ayato first. Alright. Okay, well, Sig would indeed be better than Black Sword. No refines on that Black Sword? Come on, what are we doing? Let's look at some of these. Okay, so let's look at the build first. Gladiators. God damn. What a guy. This is actually just straight up. Especially with Constellations, this is just better than Echoes, isn't it? Because Echoes is better when he has lower scalings, and if he gets better scalings, Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. Nymph Stream, he doesn't do charge attack. I mean, I guess he doesn't on-field for very long. He does hit with skill, he does hit with burst. You just have to do a charge attack before you start the rotation. Which I guess is doable. Because duration 6 seconds. Surely he has a duration extension somewhere in his kit, right? He doesn't just on-field for 6 seconds. Maybe he does. I always feel like I've noticed him on-fielding for a very short time. He on-fields for 6 seconds. You know what? I feel like every time I look at Ayato's Ascension passives, I just get sad. Do I save myself from this disappointment? I gotta remind myself, what the fuck do they do? He gains 2 Nami Sen stacks. Yeah. I just get sad. 6 seconds on field. So yeah, I don't think the damage has to be infused from Nimstream. Good time to ask, because we're right outside here. Ayato's gotta get a buff sometime. Who the fuck has an Ayato? It's so easy to sell Ayato after he gets buffed, because nobody has an Ayato to be buffed. I think it just needs to be anything that hits. After normal charge, plunging elemental skills and elemental burst hit opponents. Oh, never mind. It's only 3 stacks. I thought it was 4 different stacks. I thought it was like his Sig. Never mind. You don't need to do any sort of special thing. You can just do your regular rotation, and Nymph Stream works perfectly fine on him. And that's 25% attack, and that's 15 damage bonus. Attack scaling Hydra with so many attack buffers. Yippee. You love Jack of all trade units until it's Ayato? Who do I like that's Jack of all trades? I do like Jack of all trade units. I do like Jack of all trade units. Also, I don't know why I tried to gaslight you there. That was just me lying. That was just me straight up lying. Yeah, surely they'll do a Return to Nod Cry with a few buffs. Build. I don't know if Nim Stream would be better, but this is looking all right. This is looking all right. We got a lot of low rolls, a lot of low rolls. That makes me a little bit sad. But you've got just enough ER for you to burst every rotation. I know that because I've asked you before, and I know that 40% energy recharge is enough. I don't know, it's a good build. I don't think it's changed that much since I last saw it. Look at my Hu Tao and Risley. Oh, actually, it was just like, it's just looking like the feather is mostly the low rolls. It's alright, average roll value other than that. Oh man. 3 minimum crit rate rolls, 1 low. Jesus Christ. This is like this is a pretty good set. Yeah, it's probably not going to be easy to replace this if you were gonna go farm Nim Stream. But it's at least worth going to check if Nim Stream is better. If you want to min-max your Ayato as much as you can. Man. Man, what a set of constellations. I'm sorry, but I just look at this Ayato. Every time I look at an Ayato, I just have to despair a little bit. Because what the hell did they do to my boy? What the hell did they do to my boy? 1 4, that's a 3-liner. That's a 4-liner. That's a 4-liner with 1 bad roll. That is a 4-liner with 1 bad roll. That is a 3-liner. It could get better. It's probably not going to be easy. Probably worth checking if Nim Stream is a little bit better because it's not like Gladiators is helping your crit ratio, so it's not going to be any easier or harder to build. Blacks, did we really not, like... What? I want to look at his weapon options. I want to look at this motherfucker's weapon options. Because there's gotta be a good, acceptable weapon. No Eshu? Yeah, like a fucking Eshu? I have no swords? There's no way you weren't playing when Eshu was out. Surely. Surely. About to put him on Duransig? That's probably better because Black Sword is so ass. Is so ass. It's so awful. And honestly, wait, no, Duransig? Wait, Duransig cracked because he actually fucking hits with his burst? Duransig actually works on him? He needs to be double hex to get the full effect of it, but he at least gets the 20% attack from burst hitting. Ryo gets let out of the basement every once in a while. Yeah, and they fucking buffed him. They buffed Risley. They like Risley way more than they like Ayato. Well, they actually, they hate Ryo in weird specific ways. They fuck him over in weird ways, but he's in a better spot than Ayato. I wasn't, and it's supportive. I mean, it is supportive, but it's still going to be better than Black Sword. Black Sword sucks balls and ass. 20% damage bonus. Yippee! Finale of the Deep is probably better. Finale of the Deep, a high refined Finale of the Deep is definitely better. I'm not even gonna bother. I'm gonna Fieldscraft this, and I'm gonna say yeah. Just Duransig? I mean, yeah, just Duransig if you're gonna use that. And also we're about to get Traveler Sig, which is the same stat line as Duransig. So those are gonna be 2 usable options on him. But if you want to keep Duransig on Duran, or if you want to use it for a supportive reason, you could have been using Finale of the Deep this entire time if you got a team that can heal him. What team is he running these days? Probably just anything with a Nepha. But then his crit ratio, fucking deal with it. You get a billion million attack. And all of the stats that are going towards Finale, all that the stats that Finale of the Deep gives, they benefit all of his damage, not just his normal attack damage. Which his burst is not Honestly, I wouldn't be that surprised if his burst was like 30% of his damage. I wouldn't be that surprised. Because he on fields for such short amount of time and his burst exists for so long. It is? Is it more than that? Yeah. Lock the hell in. I mean, just use Durensig if you have it now, but you should have been using Finale of the Deep this entire time. Finale of the Deep is good. Or Wolffang is functional if you get battle passes, if you want to save your crit ratio. I mean, you do get battle passes, you have a black sword, but it's only R1, so maybe you haven't bothered in a long time. Anyways. If we're checking out Ayatos, yes, I did skip you on purpose, Aqua. You're coming last. If we're checking out Ayatos. Light of Foliar Incision. Where's his EM? Come on, he needs EM for Light of Foliar Incision. Another Gladiators. Which, I don't know if this is a... Yeah, you're maybe getting a little bit mogged, but also it's because this. The build is also better, though. The build is also better, though. The Sig, the fat load of crit damage from Lo-Fi. It's a stat. Yeah, I know it's a stat stick. I was joking. You don't need to put EM on him. Unless you're running him in Lunar. Yeah, it's getting... The crit is not... It's still good. You still have very good stat value on this. Very good stat value on this. Hello. But, you're sort of getting carried by the fat amount of crit damage in this substat. What's your Jean build? I generally don't have her built. But hi, welcome to chat. Now that we're doing reviews, I kind of want to turn on face cam so you guys can see the disappointment in my eyes. Not that this is a disappointing build, except this one. This is where Moss outmogs. This is where Moss outmogs. This is not enough energy to burst every rotation, unless you're going double hydro, which maybe you do that. Maybe you do it with Comba Bimba. Maybe you do it with Farina. But I don't know what the fuck he runs now. Just playing as Lohan, but Hydro. Can't burst every rotation, that's rough. Yeah, you probably need some Favs. You need something. Jesus Christ, what a terrible constellation. No application for every 14 seconds. That sucks. But the crit stats are... Now that I'm learning that his burst is such a significant portion of his personal damage. Hi, Andromeda. Thank you for the 70 stream streak. I think it's much more important to actually get his burst up. Because his normals literally just don't do that much. He just on-fields for such a short amount of time. And the scaling isn't very high at all. That's crazy. Wait, is his Sig even best in slot? If his burst does that much damage, his Sig mostly gives damage to his normal attacks. Is his Sig even best in slot? I really crown? I'm not telling you to crown. I'm telling you to fucking get enough energy so he uses his burst every rotation. You don't need to crown. You just need that burst. Not anymore, I don't think. Yeah, it's still the best in slot. I don't know if I trust Jeb. I think if I were to trust anybody about Ayato in this chat, not that I hate you, Jeb, but I think I'm going to trust Moss about Ayato. Yeah, get that burst up. Get that burst up. I do have him double crowned. Okay. This isn't Moss's Ayato. This is somebody else. I've been on the lookout for a new circle for him. ER and EM ideally. EM? I guess you have Lo-Fi, so EM doesn't do nothing. I mean, that's a really fucking good circle. It's going to be hard to get much better than that. HP does matter on him. Not a bunch, but it does matter. I wouldn't look for EM. I would just... If you get it as a substat, cool. Anyways, this build needs a circlet. I wouldn't look for a new circlet on this build, or on my bad, on this build. I would look for a new circlet on this build. In Nefa, oh, you meant in Nefa. You said Ifefa. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. 74, 150. These crit stats are looking a little bit meager. Definitely not helped by Prospector's Shovel. I mean, it's a good weapon, but it just doesn't give you any crit. Did Mizuki get nerfed? Mizuki did not get nerfed. I don't know why everyone was so determined on saying Mizuki was going to get nerfed. I was so confident. I'm like, nope, I think Mizuki's at where they want her to be at. Because Cryo Traveler is also a really powerful unit right now, and I don't think that they would fuck up on the balance of 2 free units like that. I think they are both where they want them to be. I don't know why everyone's been doom posting Mizuki nerfs. I'm the genius. I'm the smart one here. I'm the only one who knows anything. Traveler got nerfed. No! It went from a 0.1 second cooldown to a 0.2 second cooldown. Fuck! I'm ripping all my hair out. Should I keep farming the set? I don't think it's horribly necessary. I mean, it's up to you. That's good stat value. That's good stat value. The Sands is a little suspicious. You could do with a little bit more crit rate. This is your off piece? Sure. Whatever. If anything, your off piece is looking a little bit rough. The rest of the set looks fine. She's a Nefa. She does a gazillion damage regardless. I don't think that you desperately need to make the build better. I think this functions. But you could look to get a better off piece. You could look to get a better Sands. I wasn't asking in a negative way because I have C2. Well, lucky you. Lucky you. I'm just saying that I'm complaining about other people. I'm not complaining about people coming to my chat asking. I'm complaining about other content creators saying, holy shit, Mizuki's going to get nerfed. She's too good right now. I don't think they're going to do that. I think Mizuki's going to come out and she's going to be good as she is. She's going to be the second best DPS behind Sandrone, and then they're going to release a bunch of other DPSs that are better. Anyways, yeah, it looks fine. It looks functional. I don't hate the build. I don't love it. It works. I don't want to yai. Let's not keep the review train going. Get off that Widsith. You probably already know that. Without the Widsith, your ratio is going to look a lot more suspicious. But I do like the high amount of crit rate that you have. You're probably going to move to the craftable. I plan on moving to the craftable. We have 1 EM, 1 attack. We have pretty fucking good substats. I mean, it's not a big deal if you lose the crit damage from Widsith. You just have a bit of a lopsided ratio, but you're still critting enough. Second best DPS assuming C2? I don't fucking know. I don't really... I guess. I think so. I think people are calcing with C2. It doesn't matter. All these teams are so close that whatever. Maybe she's the second best, maybe she's the third best. Most Mizuki calcs are C6R5 MC anyways. Yeah, and they're probably not going to be getting C6R5. At C2, she's the best? I don't know. I don't really care about who exactly is the best DPS because, like, whatever. This next year's units are doing 1 billion more damage than this last year's units. Who gives a shit about who's best? They're going to be best for 3 patches, and then they're not going to be best in slot, and everybody's going to shit on them, and they're going to be like, this is their wash, they're a fraud. I don't care. She does enough damage. She does enough damage. That's how much damage she does. Enough. Best DPS is Lanyan, true. That's all that matters. I really can't be bothered to go through specifics. Because the specifics don't matter. The specifics are going to change a lot based on your own investment. They're going to change a lot based on what artifacts you have, what weapons you have, what characters you have, how well you play the teams. I don't care who's best. She does enough damage. Yeah, so if you swap from Widsith to Craftable, you're definitely going to be struggling a little bit with crit damage. You're going to be dropping to 150. It's going to be a 100-150 ratio, which is Yeah, but it's fine. It works. If you're gonna have it lopsided in one direction, I would definitely prefer you critting every time, other than just fucking missing all your crits and wasting all your crit damage. But you might be able to get away with swapping to a crit damage circlet if you can get good crit rate subs on it. You don't have crazy crit rate subs on much of anything. 3 rolls on both of these, but this is 2 minimum rolls, 1 low roll. Your goblet's really your only thing with significant crit rate rolls. These pieces are both a little bit struggly. It's tough because this is already a pretty nice build. But hey, lucky you, every unit for the next billion patches is going to use this set, so it's not a bad idea to farm it. I'm exaggerating, but like this is going to be a set that's probably going to be pretty good on a lot of units, especially if they're designing Snezhnaya units to enable most reactions, or they just release a wave of units that enable most reactions, and a lot of units are going to be able to use this set. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it as it is, but it's going to need a little bit of reworking once you swap to the craftable. 20 crit rate, crit damage circlet for her trust. True, if you just believe in hard enough. And talents look fine to me. Now we'll finally look at Aqua's Risley. Please pretend weapon is new BP. It's 27 crit rate. Oh, cool. So I don't have to do any stat adjustment. So we're a tiny bit overcapped with Cryo Resonance, but that's fine because Cryo Resonance is a little bit fake. This is way too much ER for a Mawika. Jesus fucking Christ, these attack rolls. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a pretty good build. I think this is where everybody's good artifacts have been going from this domain. They've been going into this Risley. But yeah, it's same base stats, so I don't have to do any fucking math there. He's just gonna get another 100 EM. 200 at R5. Yeah, you just been stealing. You just been stealing. This is where everybody's good luck went. Did some research and for overall damage. Mistsplitter is better on Ayato. Jesus fucking Christ. His own signature wasn't even best in slot when it came out. That's ridiculous. Oh my god. I'm working on a better flower, but that'll still be hard. That'll be very hard. Those EM rolls are not nothing. Those EM subs are not nothing. Mistsplitter is his fucking best. I don't know if it's his best, but it's at least better than his own sig. That's rough. That's real rough. Now we get back to manually leveling everybody. Scalings are just too low for the normal attack damage to do anything. Yeah, it's fucked up. That's really fucked up. Because so much of his damage is coming from burst. Thank you for the treats. I love my treats. Let's burst. I can't believe that. His own signature weapon was never best in slot. What a fucked unit. What an utterly fucked... Like, he was fucked when he came out. It didn't even take time for him to, like, become bad in retrospect. He was messed up from the get-go. I'm saying this as a Sino and a Risley fan, so I guess I understand. I guess I understand to an extent. They were just doing shit. They really were just doing shit. Scalings are too low, and the base attack on Mistsplitter is really good for C6. Oh, because C6 is just an additional scaling, yeah. That I don't think is considered normal attack damage. Let's check the archive. And the fucking Ito. Ito and Goro being incredibly energy hungry. And no particle generation. Well, Ito has decent particle generation, but... Ooh, Goro. That was the Raiden region. They wanted everybody to play with Raiden. They said everybody's best in slot teammate will be Raiden for her energy that she gives. What a region. Hi, Epic. How you doing? C6. Damn. Wait, no. Is this considered normal attack damage? It says it creates 2 extra Shunsuiken strikes. And I assume his Shunsuiken strikes are normal attacks. Yeah. It is normal attack damage. Okay. So at least it benefits from the damage bonus from Sig. Damn. Is Raiden double A or triple A? She's D. Not double D. Yeah, she is one of those massive fucking D batteries that you put in like a clock that doesn't need to get replaced for 10 years. 40% normal attack damage on Sig versus more base attack. Yeah, and you get a very similar amount of damage bonus on... And that's all generic damage bonus. What is the amount of damage bonus that you get from... Miss Splitter? 5-minute stream, by the way. Miss Splitter is a total, it's 12 base, 28's 40%. He gets 12% more fucking hold on. We need to do this over again. He does 12% more fucking damage bonus on his own Sig. They hated this motherfucker. Is Raiden a must pull for the ER? Yeah, you're not... If you ever want to burst on anybody in any team ever, you have to pull Raiden. She has a passive. She has a global passive that gives everybody on your account an additional 100% energy recharge. You don't need Raiden unless you have a really big clock.
I live within you.
Every day is a battle loving this character. I'm so sorry. Like, at least the characters I like have actual signature weapons. Ayato is such a fundamentally broken unit. Jesus Christ. Loving the gameplay? Thank you very much. Give it that passive just for Inazuma units. Actually true, because they were all fucking built with a million ER in mind. Gazillion cost bursts, no particle generation. You're rubbing in the Missplitter to pour moss? I'm sorry. I'm just here to fucking talk about... I'm just here to talk about what you should be doing. I'm here to talk about... I'm always here to talk about what is optimal. That is always what Mies cares about. Mies cares about nothing but the most optimal teams. So I think I'm realizing that Nicole does not count herself as a hex unit for her burst passive. Because her charge attacks are doing as much damage as her burst procs, and yeah, they have the same exact fucking scaling. 160 versus 157. This stream setup is optimal, yeah. Oh shit. My bad. This stream setup is so optimal. Oh, never mind. I don't have 2 Hexarai characters. It's not like you motherfuckers missed anything. I was normal attacking on Nicole the whole time.
Let's investigate this.
Mika Hex buffs. Please, Mika Hex buffs. Gives him application. Give him application. Give him application. Gerato, do you just want me to ignore you every time you ask why are you live? Because it's always going to be the same interaction. There we go, 32k. It's always going to be me saying I scheduled this, and you saying this is my bit. Do I just ignore it now? Whoever made that leak about Miki getting buffed? Well, that was a guess. That's why we don't trust those leaks, because that was a guess. That's why we never trust anything until it's in beta. I ran out of stamina. It's my Chocobo son. I wanted to have hope. I also want to have hope. I want to have hope so fucking badly. You don't understand how badly I'm hoping. You don't understand how badly I'm fucking hoping for Mika to be useful. He's my useless little fucking Glorbo. Like, I know a lot of my characters suck. A lot of the characters I like suck. But he is easily the most useless fucking character on my account. Is he? Oh, hold on. I had a thought of doing a worst Genshin character tier list. I don't give a fuck about who's best. That shit doesn't matter. Let's talk about who's worst. Who is the hardest to make function? Without Hydro MC. No talking about Hydro MC. Hydro MC not allowed. Hydro MC banned. Shan Yun. True. No, it's not Dahlia. I don't think it's Dahlia. We're not going to have this conversation now because I actually will be ending stream soon. Oh, Soul's live. We could rain into him now. How long ago did he go live? 10 minutes ago. He's also DPSing Nicole in the overworld. He's also DPSing Nicole in the overworld. Bang for your buck might be Ayato? No, bang for your buck is Eula. As much as I like make fun of Ayato being a non-functional character, I do think Eula is worse. I do think Eula is worse. I think Eula has a less usable element. I think time has not been kind to physical. Time has just not been kind to physical at all. Bennett and Chevros are good contenders for worse. So true. I just wasted a fucking quill. I just wasted another fucking quill. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Nuke. There we go. Alright. I think we raid. Let's ignore whatever that was. What was? Any relevant things happen in beta today? You can watch the VOD. Not a bunch. It was pretty boring. But, you can watch the VOD. Or you could go on the VOD channel, but it's not there yet. Yes, thank you to Starshade for taking care of all of that. Let's cue this fucking raid. Let's cue this fucking raid. Let's make this raid happen. Let's ignore this, guys. Let's ignore everything. Let's just, nothing ever happens ever. This beta was boring. This beta was stupid. I hate this beta.
The insolent shall be punished.
Okay, bye.
Are you?